Good morning, America. Good afternoon, Europe. Australia, it's not a school night. You can stay up a little longer. How are we doing, guys? You alive? You awake? You winning? You in the lead, at least? Oh, I'm doubling up on myself. Go away. How you doing anyway, guys? You can now speak. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, Habib.
Hello.
Hello, Troy.
Hello.
And we have Feminist Flo here. This is one of our newer guests. I think it's your first time on the show, isn't it?
Yep,
Welcome.
exactly the first time.
I am
All hail
starting early,
Feminist
Hitmar.
Flo.
I really should have been. I set it for 4 when I should have been setting it for 3. Apologies. So I thought I'd go at the halfway mark and just confuse the hell out of everybody. Good enough. But welcome. I'm glad you're basically vigilant and have come in already. There's 5 of you watching already. Say hi to everybody, guys. I should actually get the actual the chat up and running. Who's in?
Can I get a link to the stream? Actually, never mind.
Yes, never mind. That's
Sorry.
right. Move
Sorry.
along,
Hey,
sunshine. None of your business. Nothing to see here.
Could you be a little nicer to me today?
I might be.
At least till I
could
catch
be, but
up
I probably
on
won't.
my hydration.
Yeah, well, you're a little bit hungover, are you, Troy?
No, I am hung up.
Do you need a dirty filth burger served in an ashtray?
It sounds good. I'm not gonna lie.
Welcome, bag-faced egalitarian. Not quite sure what that entails, but yeah. Hi. How you doing? Welcome to the open house. The usual crew and our little friend here, Feminist Period, who is, I would say, our lead here today, where we talk about the epic fail that is Social Autopsy. How are they doing at the moment, mate?
Good. Me or them?
Them.
Oh, them. Well,
I'm
they're...
sure you're doing fantastic.
Yes. Yes, just feels like that's all I've been talking about for the past 10 days. I've been on at least 4 or 5 different streams about it.
You're sick of it.
Yeah, because everything keeps happening. Always new things come out of nowhere to revive it. I compared it before to like a car crash. Like, you know that the car crashed and somebody has died. Then you figure out, okay, the person was shot before it died. Then, oh wait, the shot came from the back, but there's a bullet hole in the front windshield. Then you open the trunk and there's 12 midgets that come out of it.
Okay.
So there's always things happening.
That is your description of this.
Yes, it's like each time you think, okay, they're done now, there's the E-drama is tapering down. No, there's always something. Because at first there was controversy over the concept of the website, and what didn't help is that instead of addressing the concerns, the CEO of the company, Candace Owens, kept calling everybody liars without explaining why they had wrong information or why they would be lying. So she just kept then backpedaling, contradicting herself. Then after that came the Zoe Quinn and Randy Harper issue, which started a wildfire. Then it got some people to do a 180 and be for the project just because they're against Zoe Quinn and Randy Harper. Then after that, Jessie Single jumped in the mix.
Yes, and she seems to be. I mean, I know that they had an interview, wasn't it? Has she actually posted this interview yet?
No, not yet.
Still threatening then.
Sorry?
Still threatening though.
Yeah. So she said that she had the audio recording of the interview. She's never posted it. Yesterday at around 6-7 p.m. she posted the screenshots of DM conversations with Jessie Single. And I think this time I've got to give it to her. It's fairly evident that he was just playing her and trying to undermine her project, and as if he didn't want it to succeed.
So, from what I've, we can go down the the list of diatribe that's been running out from Social Autopsy. They seem to be doing a lot of Twitter postings right now.
Yes, yeah, it's because she's new to social media. She has no idea. She's getting the hang of it, but she had no idea how it worked. She had only experience with Facebook, probably logging in 5 minutes a day and talking to people that she knew directly, like her friends and family. So, like, Twitter blew her mind, and she had no idea how it works. Somebody was tagging her, or somebody was mentioning her. She would think that they were talking to her directly.
Oh, God.
Yes, somebody was tweeting her 3 times. She was calling it harassment at first.
Oh my God, this is somebody who is thinking that they're savvy enough to, this is the thing that sort of like winds me up here, is that, you're sitting there kind of going, yeah, I'm going to start a company about social media.
Oh, wait, did you guys see the petition with Jesse Candace Owens versus Jesse Singal change.org petition? Let me see. I'll post it in side chat here.
So yeah, we've got the 180-degree thing. How New York Magazine allowed Jesse Singal. Okay, there's more of this. Oh, it just goes on and on and on. This person cannot write. I don't think I'm able to do an entire
Reading?
dramatic reading on this sort of front. I was up talking to
Wait, is he talking? Wait, he started this, right? No.
No, it's Degree 180 that started it.
Okay,
So-
I see Jesse, and I was like, is he talking to himself in the third person?
No, but
Okay,
she does that sometimes.
let's do a dramatic reading of at least of this this change.org petition. Okay, Jesse Singal is a senior writer for New York Magazine. He is also a personal friend of Randy Harper and Zoe Quinn, which I, Candice Owens, did not know. When I accused these girls of harassing me, Singal used his merit as a journalist to trick me into agreeing to give an interview to him regarding it. He approached me pretending to be a neutral journalist and asked me not to publish the article I was going to write regarding the harassment I endured at the hands of these two women. He told me he could instead get the story in front of millions. I believed and granted him an interview. When he published my story, he included nothing that we spoke about and instead purposefully portrayed me as a crazy, ranting conspiracy theorist. He also lied to me. He had me mail him evidence of the harassment to his private account. He told me that spam filters at New York were overactive and that it would be better if we conducted matters using his personal account. I believe this was a lie and an attempt to pass what I sent to him onto his friend Zoe Quinn and Randy Lee Harper discreetly. Making matters worse, after the article was published, he took to his Twitter account, which he represents himself as a senior writer of the New York Magazine, and publicly mocked this scam and lack of objectivity with his friend Randy Lee Harper. Can read their tweets and the entire story here, which I will look at in a second. Jesse has since been ranting awful things about me and in support of these two women who openly admitted to torpedoing my Kickstarter campaign for about 3 days now. He has over 7,000 followers, many of which are journalists, meant to slander my reputation. I have asked the New York Magazine to recall the article given all the supporting evidence of his bias and aggressive online behavior. They told me that their policy is to never recall articles. I believe this is totally unacceptable. Aside from the internationally inflicted harm upon my reputation, Jesse has openly violated the journalistic codes of ethic. Yeah, like these guys are. Welcome to Gamergate.
My ethics.
And thereby significantly compromising the perception of the journalistic community at large. Don't worry, it hasn't changed. I would like to have this article recalled as it reflects poorly on my character, and would like the New York Magazine to acknowledge the harm that they may have unwittingly allowed for. Well, then you can obviously go to the courts.
I heard she knew nothing about Gamergate, but apparently she really knew nothing.
No, because The concept I have of her is she's a millennial who knows they're better at everything than everybody else, and it's kind of the Dunning-Kruger effect. So she probably was, because she's been a victim of harassment earlier in life, and maybe one day she was on Facebook and she saw one of her friends say, "Oh, somebody said something mean about me on Facebook." And because she's a businesswoman, she thought, "Hey, I'll start a company to defeat cyberbullying by having a database like the Stasi and get friends to snitch on each other."
What could go wrong?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, now we found out what could go wrong.
Yeah, because she didn't do any research. She even admitted that in a tweet, and she says, "No, I'm definitely not doing research at this point anymore."
I mean, that definitely lends proof to the fact she doesn't know.
I'd just like to say thank you to Swag Money for consistently bringing the 9/11 icons back. It's nice to see you again, mate. Welcome.
So, what could possibly go wrong? I'd guess the people making a profit off of all this harassment are pissed. That could go wrong.
Think Tay. Think more along the lines of Tay.
Well, I mean, this is par for the course for Zoe. We're somebody's sniffing around in my little hole. They need to go. This is like Fine Young Capitalists all over again. If you see what I mean.
Fine Young Capitalists, man.
Yeah. So, because she never thought that anybody would be against that project. Come on, defeating cyberbullying. Who could be against that?
Yeah, but I don't know. She went to university, went to college, degree in business, and you're gonna start something, and you don't even look if something like that has been proposed, even when it was like on the news everywhere, that people.com thing, like that was not just on the internet. Like people were talking about that on TV.
Well, I have to make this point. I have to raise this point. And and Candace, if you're listening, I'd love it if you were to come in. Just send me a message on @RSOLGTP. There you go. And I can explain a few things to you about social media. One of the things that you might not know is that places like Twitter, YouTube, Facebook and stuff like that, these companies have actually been around for quite some time. They've actually had sort of people complain to them about the fact that some people say nasty things to each other. They've had meetings. They've had people talking to each other. The boss has been called. They've had a think. They made their decisions. And yet you have now decided that you know the silver bullet that's going to stop it all. Can you see where there might be
harassment?
Yeah. So the billion-dollar companies that have been doing this for God knows how many years and have managed to get thus far, I don't think you quite thought out that they might have actually thought about this sort of thing before. That's all I'm saying. God love you.
Yeah, she definitely didn't do any market research whatsoever. And that's a problem. She didn't see any, like you said, peoples or even, I always call it Hogbox, but what's it called? Art Mob. That failed. So she just thought, hey, cyberbullying, who can be against that? Everybody will follow, everybody will pay me money for that.
Well, again, like what you just said, obviously she didn't do any market test research before launching this idea or asking other people. Like, I mean, you could pitch it in a way that would be like, hey, are you against online bullying? Yeah, of course I am. All right, would you support my site that's trying to stop that? Oh, yeah, sure.
So we have had some social autopsy FAQs. I don't know if any of you guys have seen the video.
Yeah.
I'm going to just give you the link to the video here, guys, so you can see this. And I'm going to play this to the poor listeners who are going to have to go through this diatribe.
Can you... I was gonna say, does it work through the stream when you play it through the YouTube player?
No, it's never really worked out particularly well, to be honest with you, mate. This is why I keep on defaulting to this. I know it's a problem for you.
Oh no, I don't mind.
Yeah, I've got to think of my my audience first. You second.
I thought it was
goes. Mea culpa.
you dick.
Sarcastic twat, I think you're looking for.
Yeah, never think of the pug first.
No, I never think of the pug. So you've got the thing in the side chat there. If you want to play right now, then you will be listening to exactly the same as what I'm listening to right now.
Is Candace Owens, the founder of socialautopsy.com. We have gotten so many comments, questions, and concerns written in about our database from some of the articles that ran about it, as well as some of the social media work we've been doing trying to spread the word, and we figured why not get it all in one spot and do a live FAQ. I guess it's technically not live, but you know what I mean.
Here we go.
How long do profiles last? Good question. Profiles last for 365 days. After a 1-year span, if the user that has been submitted hasn't done anything else, hasn't really said anything that's bad, we totally believe in forgiveness and second chances, and we will drop their name from our database forever. This next question is very alarming to me. People keep writing in asking us, how is this legal? This worries me because I think people are actually shocked that the internet is public. That's the best way that I can answer this question. The internet is public. We are not hacking into your computers or breaking into your houses and stealing hard drives. You guys are putting all this information out there and we are just aggregating it. So it's legal because if I can do a Google search and find out all this information, if I want to put it somewhere else, that's all completely fair use. I hope that answers your question. This was a comment from Erin from Connecticut. She said, the site this woman created actually can be used to bully if used improperly. Not that great. Thank you, Erin, but that is actually not correct. So 2 things. The first is that we don't allow any commenting on our database because we do not want to foster any of the bullying that we are trying to rid the internet of. The second really important factor is that we do not allow people to search by keyword, meaning you can't go to our database and Beyonce and then look at all the comments that were written regarding Beyonce and consider yourself a vigilante and trying to find those people and doing things to them. You also can't search our database for, homophobia and then think that it's going to pull all of the comments that were written that were homophobic. It just doesn't work like that. You have to search our database by name, meaning that you have to actually know who you are looking for, which significantly decreases the chance that anyone can abuse our database and use it for bullying. What if somebody creates a fake Facebook on profile and so the screenshots that are being submitted aren't real? That is a fair question. I think that the most obvious way to answer that is just to say, if somebody creates a fake Facebook profile pretending to be you, you've got a bigger problem than Social Autopsy, right? Your first problem is that someone has created a fake profile pretending to be you, which we have seen before. Obviously, we all know what a catfish is in this generation. We're a secondhand problem and not one that's really that much of a threat. We allow you to write to us, and we will investigate every claim if someone is purporting to be you. And no matter what, in 365 days, it completely wipes from our database. So again, your focus should be on the fact that somebody is pretending to be you. We are not the first database that allows people to create user profiles. I could go on Facebook right now and say I'm Barack Obama. We're not reinventing the wheel here, and some of the questions that we're getting make it sound like, oh my God, what if someone makes a fake profile? You can do that on Twitter, you can do that on Instagram, you can do that on Facebook. So we're not exactly your biggest issue. With that said, if we do investigate and we are able to identify, obviously we do pull user information when things are submitted, that somebody did falsify a profile. What we will then do is create a profile for that person, since it is technically their words, and those profiles will never be removed from our database. The 365-day clause does not apply to anybody that has falsified any screenshots. So keep it honest. What about minors? We are seeing a lot of people that are showing concern for minors, and I guess it's sort of a two-pronged approach, which is first, you guys should be visiting the terms of service on Facebook and on Twitter because they thoroughly explain what it means to be a minor and what you sign up and what you agree for when you check that box and agree to their terms of usage. Pretty much, if you are a minor, you are not excluded from anything if you are posting in a public place saying awful things. With that said, we stand by the fact that we think the best time to be on our database is when you are a minor, because that's exactly what we're trying to do. We are trying to affect their, conscience when they're young, so they know to use the internet more responsibly when they're older. There's no harm, no foul, really, if you're a minor, right? You have this profile for 365 days. You're not applying to college. You're not, going out for a job. It doesn't do anything to affect your livelihood in any way. So we think that that's really honestly the best time for people to learn. And by the way, we don't want to exclude minors because minors are the ones that are killing themselves because of what they're reading online, right? We're seeing 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds that are committing suicide. Suicides are on the rise for kids that are really young, and it's because no one's been able to get a hand on the bullying, and they, don't necessarily have the tools at that age to know how to cope with it. So that's actually where we are trying to make the most change. This is a comment. I feel that 1 year is harsh for minors. They are still learning. Okay, so you guys that keep saying this are kind of what is exactly wrong with the internet today. Your child should not be given the internet to learn. They shouldn't be trying out the internet, and trying out saying bad words on the internet. You should be sitting down having conversations with them about how serious the internet is. We say that the internet, technology, it's just like giving somebody a gun. You can kill yourself with it, or you can kill somebody else with it. And that is exactly what we are seeing that is happening. And these are the kinds of conversations, the serious tone of the conversations that we want adults to start having with their children. And if these conversations are had because we exist, then great. We don't want minors to be using the internet to learn. I mean, that is exactly why we're seeing so much damage being done on the internet right now. All that said, it's very important to know, to kind of calm you guys all down, that the overwhelming majority of the submissions that we had to date are not minors. They are coming from adults. They are coming from people that are above the age of 30 even. So what we're gonna see when we launch, what you guys will be able, to notice in terms of the trends, is that this database is not filled with minors. So it's nothing that you really need to be concerned about. I am concerned about the legal and criminal implications of posting screenshots that should normally be investigated through schools and the police with due process. That was from Patricia. Patricia, that comment or question sort of confused me. I don't know why we're talking about due process. We are not submitting these comments, to the police and saying that people should be tried. We're not involved in the due process at all. We are just an archive. If that is your concern should be why these words are being said on the internet at all, not why a secondhand database is collecting the data based off of what's shared. Again, we think that questions like that sort of reveal to us the disconnect that people have between the internet and the words that are being said on the internet versus real life, and it's it's a little bit alarming, but yeah, that question altogether, we have nothing to do with legalities and due process of law, and we are not working with police to make sure people who say bad things get arrested. So it's wrong database, I think. This next one came from a journalist. John from the Stanford Advocate says, so Owens and her team will serve as judge and jury. Yes, John. That's sort of how it works when you have any company. Mark Zuckerberg and his team play judge and jury when somebody flags something as inappropriate and they decide whether or not they think it's inappropriate. So yes, from our, for our team, we decide what we think meets the standards of harsh language. That's just what it means, to own a company. You get to decide these things. Twitter decides what's appropriate, what can be said, what can't be said on their database, and Instagram decides what's appropriate, what can and what cannot be said on their database. So we, again, are not reinventing the wheel here. We are deciding what is the language that we consider worthy of adding to our database. With that said, we are definitely not acting as the jury. We do not recommend these people get fired or recommend that boyfriends break up with their girlfriends. We are just literally an archive of somebody's words. What people, deduce from that or induce from that, employers, universities, that is completely up to them, and we think that they have the right to do that.
We don't recommend anyone get
How
fired.
do you think it is a good thing
listen to
and a
this.
just thing to try to ruin someone's career and take away their livelihood over words that are typed on social media? Again, that question terrifies me. There is just such a gap. People think that the internet is like a video game, that they can go home and say whatever they want over social media and then get back to real life, which is why he's using this word livelihood. That is not the case. You are affecting somebody's livelihood with your words. When you log on the internet and you tell someone that they are disgusting, that they are ugly, that they don't deserve to live, that they are fat, you are affecting that person's livelihood. You are making that person sad. You're making that person depressed. The internet is a real thing, and just because you're typing it does not make your words any less real. What you type on the internet is a part of your livelihood, and we stand by that, and we stand firm on that. Comment here that says, people need to toughen up. Words from an idiot mean nothing. I've been called names on here. I've been threatened. You take that garbage with a grain of salt. I guess all I am going to say to that is people had that perspective. It would be a really tough time to be a child. Technology is just increasing exponentially every decade, and to say that as human beings we just have to be able to deal with it, and the different forms of bullying that can come, the things that people say to them, we don't think it's right. I disagree with your comment entirely. No is my response to that. And lastly, I will be filing an extortion claim with Ripoff Report this evening. You'll be off to a great start with your new database, fags. Nice. Good luck. And most importantly, we definitely think that you should look up the word extortion before you do that. You guys have a great day, and stay up to date on social autopsy updates. And be nice. Just be nice on the internet. It's really easy. You don't have to worry about this if you're just nice.
I'm nice, and I'm worried.
There are so many things that are wrong with that video. And I think the like-dislike ratio just explains it all.
The cameraman just moving around willy-nilly. The terrible colour for the background. I mean, could they have picked something better?
I'm not nice.
Or at least ironed it. And then, of course, we all know that she's serving our best interests when you've got that lovely, friendly music.
Yeah. I don't accept anybody serving my best interest.
I do. Pug, I'm serving your best interest.
Yeah, see, now I don't trust you.
You don't trust anyone, Pug.
But I try to get you food.
Okay, yeah, you have a good point on the whole, I don't trust anyone.
I have them now and again.
No, but it reminds me of like when feminists say, "Oh, we look out for all women," or when the KKK says, "We look out for all white people."
Here's the thing, I kept writing notes while she was talking, and what I was thinking about is someone like, are you guys familiar with the YouTuber called the Masked Arab?
Yes.
Yeah, he's an Arab atheist living in Iraq, and he's always wearing a mask for obvious reasons. Now, he has controversial views when it comes to social issues, and he tweets about them every now and then. Even though that's not his focus. His focus is about atheism and secularism. Some of his tweets could be considered Islamophobic. Now, someone could distort the guy pretty easily if they know who he was and go like, "Hey, we can link your profile to your real name." Imagine that.
Well, now I think I know who that is from somewhere else.
Well, I think Conrad was also making a very valid point. Cableman was making a valid point. If you'd like to come in, mate, I believe I've got you on my open house guest list. Pop yourself in. But he was talking about the fact that database can be copied. You can query the copy database and cross-reference it any way you want.
Yeah, exactly. I forget exactly what she said. I mean, it was kind of right around the, you can't type in homophobic and just look up everyone that has that term associated with them. But then she says that's an index database. Exactly, Robin. You can copy it, and then you can go after keywords.
Yeah, I mean, data mining is not really something new. We've been doing it since the 80s, for crying out
Well,
loud.
the terrifying,
It doesn't...
the real terrifying thing is when somebody's kind of going, yeah, but people could use this to go after your employers and stuff like that. Well, we don't advocate that. Yeah, that's like That's like basically handing somebody a gun and saying,
I
"Now
knew you
don't
were
go
going to say
shooting people.
guns.
Don't you go shooting people." That's fine.
Well, here's the thing. First things you said was the 365 days limit. This girl doesn't know the internet, because once something is on the internet, no matter if you delete it or not, it's on the internet.
She doesn't know.
Like, how new could you be to the internet to not know that? Like, there are few rules of the internet that we know. Like, once it's online, it's always going to be online. Don't feed the trolls. And...
Yeah, and one thing she didn't mention in that video is that in the Kickstarter, because here she says, oh, we just aggregate data, but in the Kickstarter she says, oh, you can report somebody anonymously, like friends can report friends.
Yeah,
Then
I'm looking at their website right now. It's like that. Submit a person.
Oh, is it still up?
Oh, you need to look
McCarthyism at its
at
finest.
the archive or the
the
Google
archive site.
Tag.
The mirror of it. Not mirror. Yeah, mirror. Sorry. Mirror.
Yeah, and then she says, "What if somebody creates a fake profile on you? We'll create a fake profile. Okay, we'll create a profile on them that will last forever. Yeah, but the reporting is anonymous.
I'm sure it's not anonymous to them.
That's what they were saying. That you can report anybody anonymously. But what then?
And
that
how do
means
they
you
find
must
out
be
whether this has been faked or not?
Yeah.
And
I know how they determine it.
Yeah, and all you have to do is then say to these people, "Well, this isn't me. This is a faked account."
Yeah.
I mean,
and also,
this is just,
do you
it's all
know
a
who
mess.
verifies the accounts? Who verifies the
I
profiles?
know, it's just such a mess.
I know it is. It's in the
Candice,
Kickstarter.
please,
It's
you've gotta
paid
think
summer
this through.
interns.
Oh. Paid summer interns. Great.
Interns
Hey.
are always good. Yeah, because they know they're really hard workers. They know exactly what to do.
But these interns are lucky because they're paid. I found 5 different postings that she put on an intern finding website. She wanted, on April 6th, she was looking to hire, and I'm doing air quotes here, but you can't see, hire at least 20 unpaid interns.
Yummy.
So that would be a qualified workforce.
Well, man, whenever I hear either, like, I don't know, summer intern or activist, I can't remember who did the video on it, but it was it was along the lines of a social justice class where they fucking come up with a concept of how to pay student activists or whatever. I don't know if anybody else saw it, but it was pretty ridiculous.
So, obviously, there are certain things that we agree with Zoe Quinn on. This is a bad idea.
Yeah, I like how she compared herself to Facebook. She's like, Facebook bans certain words. We can ban the same. No, but Facebook is banning them on their own website. They don't go after someone's Reddit account and go like, you can't say that because, we ban it on our website.
Yeah, she's looking to police all of these social media websites.
Oh, not even social media. She mentioned something about, in her tweets, something about somebody who writes rape fan fiction.
Well, it just escalates from there, of course,
The world, huh?
Yeah, and then who decides what's offensive or not?
Well,
It's-
they do, of course.
Yeah, they do, but then
Because that's what their company is responsible for, making decisions for us.
So they're planning on policing the world. Sounds
Good
familiar.
luck
Fuck
with
yeah.
that. Good luck with that.
Yeah, it works so well for our country. Or my country.
So yeah, then we've got we've got a lot of things to go through here. We've got Heat Street. which seems to be wanting to basically it actually has a section called Culture Wars. Oh dear. By William Hicks.
By the way,
Hello, William. We're talking about you now. If the world were fueled by internet drama, Social Autopsy would be like the Markellia Shale. The startup that aimed to create an online database of cyberbullies tied to their personal information has ignited an internet fight of epic proportions. The latest on unlikely grounds, Social Autopsy's founder, Candice Owen, has accused self-proclaimed anti-feminist advocates Zoe Quinn and Randy Lee Harper of cyber-terrorism. Meanwhile, Gamergaters, who loathe both women, are just sitting back and gleefully watching the fireworks. The story goes like this. Last Tuesday, when Social Autopsy had just fledgling little Kickstarter. I'm a tired boy. I've been up all night talking to Undoomed. I think we spent the last 15 hours talking. I'm gone. Anyway, was fledgling little Kickstarter, had not yet received the ire of the interwebs. Owens got a message from one of her interns that a woman named Zoe Quinn wanted to contact her. Owens thought nothing of it and gave Quinn her personal info. For those of you who don't know, Quinn was at the centre of the Gamergate controversy when she was revealed that a certain gaming journalist she was romantically involved with gave her name favourable press on a game she developed. Below is a quick recap of the scandal, and then somebody posted 60 seconds of Gamergate. So emails led to a phone call where Quinn urges Owens to take down the site and give up on her project. Quinn warns Owen that she will be harassed by Gamergate, just as Quinn had in the past. Owen said that Quinn told her that even online harassers did not deserve to have their identities revealed. I thought this girl was either a troll herself or it's Stockholm Syndrome, Owen said. So then, according to Owens, Quinn burst into tears and ends the call with a cryptic message. If you do this, it will ruin everything.
Robin, hold on. Was it Zoe Quinn that said that people that are harassers shouldn't have their information let out? Or
yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't find my. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Then, according to Owens, Quinn burst into tears, ends the call with a cryptic message. If you do this, it will ruin everything. After the call, Quinn took to Twitter to lampoon Social Autopsy with Netscapegoat. I know the names of my biggest abusers. They do it without masks. They monetize it. Privacy isn't the enemy. It's what let me hide from them. I wish I didn't see at least one person a week who didn't want to shake and yell, "Stop helping at..." Great sentence there, Zoe. At any time a project comes along that is all about naming and shaming folks who harass people online in an effort to make them stop, I sigh. Well, at least you've learnt your lesson, Zoe. And then the harassment started. Owen's personal and Social Autopsy emails, as well as the Kickstarter, were bombarded with racist and sexually explicit messages. One of them is basically talking about the big sister coagulating thing on... this was on poll thread on 4chan. I did have a little look-see down here, and yeah, they are licking their lips at this. It's like kind of going, we are totally going to fuck this one. Candice received an email that just says "God's work" by Chris Me Not You. It says, "Hi, it doesn't matter who I am, and as you will quickly see that your project is doomed. Look, I'm not doing this to warn you, to give you a heads up, to possibly give a shimmer of hope that what you are doing is going to succeed. I need you to read this thread. I suggest you read every last post. This is just one thread, one of many, and there will be many more. And if you do in fact manage to con enough people to hit your goal, all you will be doing is giving us all the lols. So don't say no one warned you, but seriously, you need to take the time to read the whole thread. Do not dismiss it. It will only hurt you in the future if you do." What a bizarre message. I'm not doing this to warn you, but I warn you. Edge on, edgelord. Then comes Randy Lee Harper. She writes a post in Medium. Shall I read this diatribe? This is the open letter to Social Autopsy. I'm sure most of you have heard of this, but it's up to you guys. It's up to you.
I put an interesting one in the group chat that not a lot of people have went on. It's an article that Candace Owens wrote herself about the Constitution. So that can give some insight about her views on free speech and where she's coming from.
Oh, goody. Okay, so dramatic reading time, everyone. Are we all sitting comfortably?
Oh, yes. Go for it.
Then we'll begin. Should I do it in sort of like a bedtime reading one?
Yeah, because the last one hurt my stomach.
Okay.
Started making it roll.
Okay. So, I'll say it nice and delicately as though we're tucking you up into bed. Now, before you start with me with that tired patriotic banter of our founding fathers and America the Great, let's all take a deep, rational breath and try to see things from a more linear perspective. Ooh, aren't we wise with words? Let's look at things in a straight line. The reason the Constitution of the United States is regarded so highly is because the people who wrote it are dead. And they've been dead for a very long time. I'm serious. Well, I sort of like say that the American Constitution is the perfect document, 100 years ahead of its time, written 200 years ago. I'm serious. There's this interesting pattern I've noticed in our society. We have a fond, deep appreciation of anything post-mortem.
Social autopsy. I can't help but seeing a link in between the name social autopsy and her mentioning post-mortem here.
Maybe she's, got some Jamaican heritage or something like that,
Yeah, but social autopsy is a real thing. It's a method in psychology that means re-educating children through public humiliation.
We instantly wipe the slate clean for anything and anyone the moment they leave this earth. Ask Hitler. And any mention of their past wrongdoings is considered blasphemous and will surely guarantee you a seat in hell. Joan Rivers, legend. No, I thought she was awful. Terrible comedian. Could have done better, but didn't. Leaving her out of an Oscars recognition was a sin. But what? Oh my God! We're really getting into the psyche of this person, isn't it? Really, Ooh, the Oscars culture. There was a significant and constant amount of backlash about her work on Fashion Police and whether or not it constituted bullying. In fact, just months before her passing, she publicly made fun of another woman's miscarriage. To put it mildly, Rivers' final job was talk show host, where she openly referred to women, some of which were teenagers, as fat, slutty and ugly. But then she died, so whatever, now she's a legend. The very same can be said about our founding fathers. Okay. For the last 250 years, we have been hailing a document that they put together as the end-all, be-all of Americanism, the very fibre of our nation's existence. But let's just take a second to recap. Our Constitution, the supreme law of the land, came into force in 1789. Its incredible authors, our founding fathers, sought to protect our individual liberty and justice, and to place meaningful restrictions on the government so that it's not to abuse the people it was put in place to protect. Do you follow me? Yes, we follow you. Well, as it turned out, people happened to be a subjective term because they included a provision that gave them the ability to import slaves. Wait, what? Let's try to put that in proper context. You're telling me Americans launched a revolutionary war against a cruel Great Britain because they thought it was within their power to impose taxes on teas, but importing human beings and using them as cattle fell within moral confines. These are our founding fathers we are talking about, our dead founding fathers. So we should tread lightly when pointing fingers, right? Wrong. The Constitution was written by slave owners. Right. Freedom of speech wasn't written by slave owners. Freedom of speech was written by people. Rather, it's something that's all around, Candice. It's just one of those things. It's not just for your Constitution. You're not the only ones. I have to say this to Americans when it comes to exceptionalism. Yeah, you might want to have a look around the rest of the world. We have all tried this. I'll wait for you to get the joke. Got it?
Yeah, republics never last forever.
Got it? Right, okay, let's move on. This fact in or of itself is enough to reasonably conclude that it was not written by morally sound individuals. To give you a little present-day perspective, if you accept that if President Barack Obama introduced a new constitution that was written by, say, Ariel Castro, to jog your memory, he was the Ohio man who kidnapped and kept 3 women as slaves in his basement and subjected them to rape, torture, and abuse. And that's just a small excerpt from a long list of horrors American slaves had to endure. Right. Yeah. Water is not that bad, and I reckon I could get Hitler to agree. Did we ever just consider the inescapable truth that absolutely nothing that was valid in the 1700s is valid now? Not money, not political issues, not social issues, not lifespan, not fashion, not culture. Quite literally, not a single thing.
Nothing is valid? Like the whole thought of freedom? Because, freedom was kind of the whole idea back then.
Yes, Frederick Grimm
Pretty much
says
entire world.
that bitch wants to rip up the Constitution over my dead body. I think it might be over hers. They were aided by the recent experiences with Great Britain in helping shape the fundamentals, like experiences they perceived as injustices. We have had so much history transpire since the passing of America's founders. We now have so many of our own experiences, world wars, genocides, hate crimes, and our own injustices and incredible feats. We are now responsible. We can now reasonably sit down and shape a document that embodies this maturity, a document that is relevant today. The document I'm proposing should be one that supports all human beings: black, white, Muslim, Jewish, Christian, gay, straight, transgender. Yes, that's why they call them people. Our incredible planet and the way in which we need to positively evolve and affect change. And so again, I say...
So, I take it she wants to ban bad speech.
Let's immortalize the Constitution where it belongs, in a museum. Let's respect upon it fondly as a beautiful piece of American history that helped shape a young country at time when it needed it most.
It is in a museum.
Who knows, maybe in the next 200-year mark, we'll be looking back upon this as our founding generation. Fondly, of course, because we'll all be dead.
Oh, god damn. Where do I start with this?
Well, she works in a private equity firm in Manhattan.
Well, here's the thing.
You know what,
like,
yeah, you guys, I don't think you should be speaking, mate, because, she works in finance. And if that's the sort of thoughts coming out of this lot...
I work in finance.
Yeah, I don't know why you guys are even in charge.
Yeah, she used to. She went from executive assistant to one of the officers, I think CEO. Then she got promoted to VP of administration. So she stopped working in, I think, July 2016. But she started her company, Degree 180, in February 2016. But that private equity firm, Colbeck, is being investigated for fraud and is being sued for $500 million. That's $500 million.
Okay, let's just tackle this and what she said about the U.S. Constitution. First of all, I believe that any document, no matter who wrote it or what its purpose is viable for criticism. Like, you can criticize it if you want. But she's criticizing it because the people who wrote it owned slaves. That has nothing to do with the document itself. At all.
Yeah, that you might as well throw out the Magna Carta because some British people owned slaves too.
No, I'd rather throw out the Magna Carta because it has been thrown out a good 40 or 50 times.
What do people
here's another
not
thing.
realize? Oh, go ahead, Abib.
And here's another thing. The Constitution can be amended. It has been amended quite a few times.
It's really hard to amend it, but...
But yeah, go through the legal process, and you have to get through the process of it all. Like, yeah, it's bureaucracy, and yeah, I understand why they made it so hard to amend. Because if they made it so easy, then yeah, you would have different laws every second year. But yeah, if you have a strong point against something that says that is on the Constitution, you can change it if the people and the politicians agree with you.
Just on the slavery bit, did people just tend to forget that Africans enslaved themselves and sold them to the Dutch? They sold them to the Dutch for guns or different.
Well, they didn't exactly enslave themselves. They enslaved their enemies.
Rival tribes would capture and basically turn them into slaves to sell or to do work.
Well, let's be honest. When there's a market for it, that's going to help.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's not get off topic of when we were talking about a black woman and slavery. You know that's never going to go anywhere. Anyway, if you, I'm going to read the New York Post one here. It said, if you stumbled upon the Twitter account Social Coroner over the weekend, you might have immediately assumed that it was being run by a type that's become sadly familiar online, the hardline Gamergator. If you spend enough time on Twitter or Reddit, you run into these
When was this post?
This is Jesse. This is Jesse Single on... what date? It doesn't say. Where's the date on this? April 18th.
Really?
Really.
Is it? It's in the sidebar? Or it's in side chat?
I'll give you the link here.
Yes, please do.
There we go. If you guys want to have a look at this and give the New York magazine some advertising revenue, that's up to you.
Nah, I've got triple ad blocks.
Excellent. Triple ad blocking. Anyway, if you stumbled across a Twitter account, you run into folks occasionally sitting at the far end of the obsessive bell curve. These are the dudes, and they're mostly dudes, convinced that a cabal of feminist social justice warriors or SJWs are controlling everything from behind the scenes. And whatnot. Viciously targeting their enemies and punishing them for not towing an imaginary wacko progressive line. Two common targets of this sort of obsession, and broadly speaking, two of Gamergate's biggest bêtes noires, are the anti-harassment advocate Zoe Quinn and Randy Lee Harper, and indeed, they are exactly who Social Coroner went after. For a large chunk of the weekend, the account came hard on both women, implying that they were part of a conspiracy that was about to be unmasked. At times, the account sounded like it was tweeting from a besieged bunker with the armies of Quinn and Harper closing in. Randy and Zoe, stop sending your clowns to try and scare us with legal hell threats. If you're going to serve us, do it already. It could be unsurprisingly hard to follow, but Social Coroner repeatedly asserted its superiority over its alleged tormentors. I consider the constructs of our society thoroughly and often, and I think analytically, Randy and Zoe really banked on me being dumb. She tweeted at one point. It's nice to mention. She managed to get that in 140 characters, did she? Not sure.
Amazing.
Check that one. Keep sending troops, Randy and Zoe, XX, at another. Throughout, the conspiracy talk was thick. Responding to another user, Social Coroner wrote that it's literally puzzling. The picture is obviously obvious, but fitting the pieces will take time. I love how this is being painted when you've got Randy Harper basically saying, "I will enjoy taking you down." But anyway, over the course of the two tweets separated by one in between, everyone pay attention to the mentions. They are literally exposing themselves in the mentions. We can trace this all back to the origins. On the one hand, yawn. Sadly, these sorts of claims are a dime a dozen on Twitter. On the other hand, Social Coroner is an official Twitter account of Social Autopsy, an anti-bullying startup that launched in its Kickstarter last week. And the rant against Quinn and Harper garnered it hundreds of new followers. Quinn and Harper are very strange targets for an organisation like this. Generally speaking, there is almost zero overlap between the sorts of people who publicly and repeatedly denounce these two particular women and the sorts of people concerned with ending online harassment.
Targets, huh?
Yeah, them saying, stop it, please stop this. That means targeting. It's a strange, slightly complicated story, but it's also a useful cautionary tale to what can happen when newcomers wander into the weirder, angrier corners of the internet without first reading a tour guide or two. Social Autopsy launched its Kickstarter campaign April 12th, billing itself as a way to catalogue the abuses of trolls and cyberbullies. Its founder, Candice Owens, a 26-year-old woman with a background in finance who has a painfully first-hand experience with bullying. When she was in high school in Stamford, Connecticut, a classmate and former friend left racist death threats on her phone, sparked a local scandal, and then came to ensnare the mayor and his son, the latter of whom was in a car with the perpetrator at the time he threatened Owens. It's clear these events had an effect on Owens. The age of the technology and social media has slowly disintegrated individual accountability, consequences of which are devastating, she said in Social Autopsy's promotional vid, which then rolls news coverage of a series of suicides that may have been caused at least in part by cyberbullying. She then explains that Social Autopsy will do what Social Autopsy will do. We attach people's words to their places of employment, and anybody in the entire world can search for them. What we are doing is figuratively lifting the masks up so nobody can hide behind, Twitter handles or privatized profiles. It's all real and it's all researchable. You can still say whatever you want to say on social media, but you will have to be willing to stand by your words, according to the Kickstarter. The company is seeking $75,000 in funding and hopes to launch with 150,000 profiles. And then there's a post here that says, I got to work on a blog piece, but to Zoe, Randy and their obvious trolls, tomorrow is only a day away. The pitch to anyone steeped in the world of social media in 2016 is odd, if not ominous. Owens is unclear how she plans to do any of the things she says she will, and listening to her description of the site that lifts masks and connects people's names to their employers, it's hard not to come to a conclusion that Social Autopsy's goals include anonymizing people online and making it easier to dox trolls and harassers. And that's exactly how the Kickstarter pitch was interpreted by most of the people who saw it. The freakout was both immediate and predictable. The site that allows users to report people for entry in the database that will portray them as a troll or a cyberbully has obvious potential for all kinds of abuse. In the days that followed, a rare degree of unity was achieved between various opposing factions in the endless internet culture war. Gamergater and anti-Gamergate advocate alike agreed that this was a very bad idea, and that the Kickstarter lack of details when it launched was little sign. Just because two people agree on something doesn't mean that there's an alliance here. When it launched, there was little sign of the company had given any thoughts to potential privacy concerns, nor to countermeasures against the inevitability of reports levied against innocent people, suggesting it was half-baked, potentially dangerous service, and no one really wanted. Are we talking about Anita Sarkeesian going to the UN here, or
Emma Watson talking to the UN?
Yeah, it's very. I'm getting confused. New York Magazine. This could be reading pretty much everything that either Zoe, Anita, or Randy have been doing over the last 2 years. The response to Social Autopsy seemed, in short, like a clear instance of the internet, that is, the market for the service itself rearing up and issuing forth a guttural, ear-splitting, "No thanks." But that's not how Owen sees things. Instead, she's convinced the current online shaming she's experiencing, including death threats and violent racist language delivered into her company's inbox, are the result of a conspiracy, possibly a far-reaching one, spearheaded by Quinn and Harper. She thinks they, and particularly Quinn, are the ones sending her nasty email, or that they started the hysteria that led to the inundation. At least, she also thinks they're operating a network of sock puppet social media accounts trying to take down Social Autopsy, all because they're afraid of what the nascent company will reveal about them once it's up and running. There's no actual evidence of any of this is true, and yet Owens, thrust into the internet culture war she knew nothing about coming in, has misinterpreted, in a particular cringeworthy way, various bits of mundane evidence as implicating Quinn and Harper. She has accidentally become a true believer in the common variety of Gamergate conspiracy, all without even really knowing what Gamergate is. And she's convinced she's about to break the whole thing open in a big blog post she plans to publish on her website. And this is why you decided to post this now. It all started with an email from Zoe Quinn to Owens and the evening of Kickstarter launch. For the uninitiated, Quinn is the original victim of Gamergate. Her ex-boyfriend, Aaron Joney, effectively launched the entire online movement with a lengthy, vindictive blog post she published about her in August 2014, leading to a cascade of harassment and death threats, and she has never abated since. She has expressed concerns about social autopsy on Twitter, and soon as Autopsy in turn gave her Owen's personal work email address, Quinn is co-founder of Crash Override Network, a crisis helpline advocacy group and resource center for people who are experiencing online abuse. With the exception of a few instances in which she responded to individual claims below, Quinn said in a DM statement she didn't want to comment on the particulars of her interactions with Owens. It's unfortunate that the public conversation that could have been about the project and the underlying merits of different tactics of fighting online abuse has been largely hijacked by people acting in bad faith, hoping to cause a spectacle. I quote Sargon's law at this point. The statement read, in part, "I have no interest in allowing myself to be used for that." Really?
Wait, did we agree Sargon's law was your Hitler thing?
No, it's the whatever you accuse others of, you're essentially admitting to yourself.
Oh.
Yeah. Shortly after Quinn initiated email contact, the two women were on the phone. It didn't go well. Owen said she found Quinn pompous, and that she didn't think Quinn's concerns, which varied from the potential of child getting doxxed by social autopsy to the threat she thought Gamergate posed to Owens herself, all well-founded. Quinn, Owens also told me, said she was called on behalf of a group of anti-bullying organisations, but wouldn't say which ones. Things got incredibly heated, and when Quinn broke into tears and said something like, "I don't think you understand, this is going to ruin everything," Owen said she found it odd and suspicious that Quinn started crying, especially given that she was calling as a representative of various organisations. After they got off the phone, the two had a brief email correspondence which culminated, Owen said, in Quinn asking her not to contact her again. In a DM conversation, Quinn acknowledged that she had teared up, but denied saying anything that Owens could have interpreted as this is going to ruin everything. She has also denied having claimed to be speaking for anyone other than herself. About 45 minutes after Quinn sent her email, he really knows exactly the timing here. Look, about 45.
Yeah, it's crazy.
About 45 minutes after Quinn sent her final email, Owen said she started receiving racist hate mail at the main Kickstarter contact email for Social Autopsy. And at her own personal email, the first email she received simply said, "Nigga, nigga, nigga, nigga." Owens is African American. It soon became a deluge of harassment, some of it violent, with many of the fake email addresses the harasser used containing words like gaming and or variations of. I spent an entire night being harassed. I couldn't even answer the real questions from people that were coming from our Kickstarter website, said Owens. There are some messages she received which are quite graphic. Nigga, 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 from John Joe and DeRay Jackson, which it looks as if they've actually managed to find a picture of Logical Minority there. And it goes, "Hey, BB, let me suck them toes. Hey, this actually does sound like him now. Hey, you fine as fuck though. Hey, BB, I'll be in your pharaoh. Let me see in that. Baby, you so fuckable. Hey, hit me up on Twitter, girl. You know it when you see it. Thinking of you, girl, while I slap this dark meat. Dark meat got less."
Are you reading from the CETA argument?
Tryptophans? Is Does anyone know what a tryptophan is?
Like L-tryptophan?
Tryptophan?
Or
I don't
what
know.
is it? What's the word before it?
It's just dark meat got less tryptophans. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's what's like in turkey that makes you sleepy. It's kind of like what is it, melatonin?
This is American thing, yes? American thing.
No, I mean melatonin's or tryptophan. L-tryptophan is a chemical that helps put your mind or helps with basically putting you to sleep. It's excreted when it's time to go to bed.
Right.
So he's talking about dark meat.
So this is a medical
that,
student.
so
This is a medical student then. Okay.
He's referring it to, I mean, turkey basically.
Okay.
Dark meat and turkey.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I'm any more educated out of this, to be honest with you, Troy. But thank you for trying. Yeah, you got big rhino cock in you. BBC Logic Girl. In the only reason you need. Hit me up. Let me put a bone through that nose. I'm not quite sure. I don't think this person understands how sex works. But I think it's an impassioned thing, and I think he's trying his best. But I think maybe, some flowers, maybe I'm old-fashioned. But anyway, Michael says, fuck you, you commie dumb bitch, Illuminati hoe cunt face. You are cancer, and your stupid Kickstarter ruins my hard-on. You are stopping bullying by bullying stupid teenagers like me from getting work. You are the real bully, you stupid coon lord. Well, that's,
What?
Was it the last sentence you were having trouble with?
No, I mean, both of these people are what you would call social justice warriors, right?
I don't know. I do not know. These are. I would assume they are anonymous, and are not interested, perhaps, in. I believe, judging from what they're saying, they're not keen on social autopsy. I feel. By the time I spoke with her on Saturday night, Owens had convinced herself that it was Quinn sending her at least some of those harassing notes. For one thing, she found the fake handle suspicious. Gaming was an industry and a community that I had, prior to talking to Zoe Quinn, no idea about. They are not on our radar. It also seemed a little bit too pat that Quinn had warned her there would be a wave of harassment, and then voila! There was a wave of harassment, especially given the Kickstarter had been operating for the better part of a day with nary a critique from haters. I pressed Owens on this. She really thought Quinn sent her nigger note. And that the over-the-top hateful ones she sent or knew who sent them. She responded 100% undeniable. The belief seems to hinge almost entirely on the fact that the abusive emails came in after she spoke to Quinn, and that both Quinn and some of the notes mentioned gamers. Owen said she woke up furious the next day and saw she had received an email in the personal work account that Quinn had been given, which to me said, red flag, this is Zoe Quinn. It should be pointed out that Owen's work account is not hard to figure out. The email linked to a thread on 4chan's poll board, which is notorious for its reactionary politics and offensive trollery, in which users teed off on social autopsy and what a bad idea it was. So it's 4chan's poll, but you said it was Gamergate. Make up your minds.
They're the same thing, if you didn't know.
I thought Gamergate got kicked off of 4chan, didn't it?
No,
I'm pretty sure we were banned from 4chan, yeah.
No, we're all just the worst people on the internet.
So don't say no one warned you, the author of that email wrote. But seriously, you need to take the time to read the whole thread. We already did this bit. Another piece of evidence Owens highlights as the proof of the conspiracy to take down the company is an open letter to social autopsy posted by Randy Harper. In the letter, Harper, a frequent Gamergate target, and anti-harassment advocate, No, just get rid of the anti. Tore into Owens. Oh, well, of course that sounds very anti-harassment now, doesn't it? For wandering into a situation she didn't fully understand. Harper, noting that at one point Owens referred to Quinn as a Gamergate leader. Yes, I'd have to disagree. This
wasn't there.
This is kind of like referring to Obama as a big Tea Party activist. Well, it depends where he's trying to get his money at the time, I would imagine.
God.
Harper didn't hold back. I'm telling you my credentials so that you can understand where I'm coming from and when I tell you. Yeah, credentials. We can see your credentials a mile away. We can hear them coming. Unequivocally, you are a goddamn train wreck, she wrote at one point. Later, you are a fucking idiot. Oh, this is somebody who really is sort of like, she wants the world to be nice on the internet, doesn't she? You blamed your Kickstarter getting shut down on trolls. You're wrong. That was us. As long as you're willfully harming other people by creating shitty, uninformed products, by kicking the shit out of anyone that tries to help you, we're going to keep getting you shut down.
Whoa.
So, this is no longer a conspiracy at this point, Jesse. You've really poorly wrote this bit, because now you're basically informing people that they've just said, yeah, we are doing this. But it's not a conspiracy,
I
no?
just had a thought.
We dogpile. Everybody.
The journalists should be tearing themselves down at this point, right? Because they do exactly what he just said.
To Owens, this level of anger just didn't make sense. There had to be something else going on. I started piecing it together and I was like, oh my god, this is actually who these people are. This is crazy, she said. To find out more, she started researching Quinn and Harper's names. Quickly, she collided headfirst with a key point of Gamergate orthodoxy. Many online harassment victims, particularly professional victims like Quinn and Harper, are making up or exaggerating the harassment against them. Hardcore Gamergaters even think Quinn, Harper, or both run elaborate ruses to try to convince the world that they are under online attack, when in fact they aren't. And you know this because... what? Part of what makes these theories so hard to believe is not to do with the fact that people in the New York Magazine are just posting, telling people not to believe it, but it's also that if you Google the name, you can see that a disturbing number of people have been utterly obsessed with both women, particularly Quinn, since Gamergate broke, given the sheer heat that this has been blasted at them for so long. It would be bizarre if they hadn't been hit by a wave after wave of abuse or threats. In a DM statement, Harper said, in part, this isn't the first project that was likely well-intentioned but lacked research into both technology as well as the psychology of harassment. Well, yeah, there's your project, for example, Randy. Without the collective knowledge base and support, yep, we're still looking at your project again, Randy. She does have experience in knowing what a bad project is, let's be honest. Of pre-existing members of the online anti-harassment community, anyone entering this new tech sector is going to have a difficult time. Once again, she would know. This is a striking example of how successful Gamergate has tarred two of its targets. Owens, new to the controversy, was just trying to understand more about the women who had criticised her. Yes, and she had actual contact with them. Quickly becoming convinced that Quinn and Harper were the sum of the internet supervillains, lacking the full context of the Gamergate story. So, in other words, it's not us doing it. She's worked this out all on her own, by talking to them. I'm reading a trove of information which all seemed to confirm her suspicions. Owens fell in despair. She felt her instincts about Quinn had been confirmed. I started reading obviously more into it, and about how people had suspected this for a while, that Quinn is actually making money, she said, and that Randy doxes people. They had a tweet saved of her calling for somebody's address and telephone number. This refers to an instance in which Harper released personal information about a debt collector. So, yeah. It's amazing that it's basically kind of going, yeah, they're not really harassers, but well, there is this occasion where they harassed. And...
I'm sorry, you were breaking up for me. What was the last bit on the debt collector?
Randy doxes people. They had a tweet saved of her calling for somebody's address and telephone number. This refers to an instant in which Harper released personal information about a debt collector. Yeah.
But man, that debt collector was dumb if he gave out that much identifying information.
Well, this is the thing. She was threatening to by basically saying, I'll find out where you live, yada yada.
Oh, okay. Like, look me up on the internet, see what I'm capable of.
I still do not know, admittedly, why Randy Harper is. I do not know why I got an open letter from her. All I know is that she crafted the entire thing for me. Their network runs deep. So who knows? I don't know how deep this goes. I'm going to have to go to the toilet, guys. Can anyone carry on reading?
Hug, Habib.
Anyone on this? Habib?
Ah, crap.
It's going to be you, Troy.
I know, but give me a second here. Let me bring up the Hangout. Because I'm on my other computer and this going at the same time and in VR. Can you do me a favor, Ron? Will you send me the link?
You're in VR right now. What? Put the thing down for 5 minutes, for crying out loud.
No, I can read it virtually.
You can read it virtually. Fuck's sake. Anyway,
can you just put it in the Hangouts
I just
thing
did.
in Google?
I just did. And
Not the sidebar.
I really need to go to the toilet. I'll be back in minutes, man. But it's
all right. Go. I'll get it.
There's the 3 little stars, and then it says part of what has made this train wreck so depressing. Oh,
okay.
Must urinate.
Hold on, everybody. Okay. Part of what made this train wreck so depressing to watch is that almost all of it flows directly out of Owen's lack of understanding of his particular slice of the internet. She may have worked for various anti-bullying organizations like the Tyler Clemente Foundation in the run-up to her Kickstarter launch, but it was clear from our conservation that she just hadn't been exposed to the kind of aggression, swarming mobs that define online harassment in 2016. Chat and people watching, I'm sorry if
It's all right. I'm back. I'll wrestle it back off you. How far did you get?
Not very far. Swarm of mobs that define online harassment in 2016.
Okay. When we were talking about social autopsy, her primary examples of the behaviour she was hoping to catalogue were people who left threatening Facebook comments about celebrities like Caitlyn Jenner. I thought it was important to discover, for example, the names of teachers who left viciously cruel comments against Jenner. Yes, people leave mean comments on Facebook, and yes, there is plenty of old-school cyberbullying that should be addressed, but online harassment these days is much more complicated than that. Much more complicated even than the brutal, scary version Owen's experienced growing up. Understanding it requires understanding. Oh God, you are such a bad writer. A lot about anonymity, about troll culture, about who is likely to be a target in the first place. It doesn't appear Owen or her colleagues at Social Autopsy came in with any of this background. As if the internet were trying to hammer that point home, Owens and her organisation are now experiencing exactly the sort of harassment her organisation didn't seem to fully take into account. The snowballing shaming, which can come when an unpopular idea is put under the searing spotlight and the internet decides that the most important thing in the world to do, at least for the next day or so, or until some other, even more deserving victim comes along, is to mock and threaten and dehumanize whoever is responsible for that idea. Well, yeah. Owen's somewhat naive understanding of what constitutes online harassment ended up backfiring on her with some pretty brutal ways. For instance, she got fixated on the word docs, mentioning that Quinn had used it in a tense phone call. Within a few hours of having spoken to Zoe Quinn and upset her, a board had been started on us4chan.org, an anonymous thread. And they are now telling the gamers that we are going to be doxing them, doxing minors. She told me. The word dox is being thrown around. I'd never heard of it. People had seen our campaign. We worked on it for 2 months. For a whole 2 months. Oh. People gave us feedback. We had a whole article written. One whole article written in the Connecticut Post on the front page, and yet, she said, not a single person had used the word docs in the run-up to the Kickstarter launch. Now we're seeing the word docs in this chain, and immediately, in my head, I go, interesting word. First heard that first from Zoe. So because Zoe had mentioned doxing, and then a bunch of other people had brought it up as well, in the context of a Kickstarter campaign, that is very least strongly hinting that it would be doxing people by unmasking people and revealing. God, this is such terrible English. How many times do you repeat a word in a sentence? Anyone?
I mean, when I was reading, he
Never!
used observation, and I think he meant observation. I don't know.
I repeat the same word in a sentence a few times sometimes.
Yep.
It's usually sometimes, but
Yeah,
sometimes.
Stop it.
Yeah, like sometimes.
Go to your bed. Anyway.
Like when...
Anyway, in the context of the Kickstarter campaign, it was very strongly hinted that it would be doxing people by unmasking people and revealing where they work. Owens became convinced that Quinn was behind all the complaints. This happened over and over. Owens kept mentioning pieces of evidence. I'm bored now, and this isn't even halfway through. No, fuck this. This is just going on and on and on about how naughty and nasty she is for daring to say anything mean about Randy Harper, who has actually threatened to dox people, but she's not a doxer. I mean, fucking hell, man. Jesse, you fucked up. You might want to rewrite that, man. Just, honestly, there's so much wrong with that, I cannot... you're not even good. Get your editor on this. Let them look over your writing. It is terrible. But anyway.
Good scrub.
Yeah, but some emails that she received, they were really sent by random trolls, not by Zoe Quinn or Randy Harper.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's like with anything that comes up and people catch wind of it, I can go troll someone.
Yeah, but some people came forward and said, hey, I sent that email.
Is Poll that stupid, though?
Sorry?
Is Poll that stupid?
Not Poll, but I've seen screen caps of people that were kind of bragging about sending those emails. Even the lastest one that she posted about 2 days ago, she just took a picture of the screen with her phone. You couldn't see the name of the sender. Somebody that was threatening her to stop talking to the press. And I know why she didn't mention she took the picture that way instead of a screen cap as regular. It's because the address of the sender was Zoe Quinn at animalfetishporn.us. Yeah. So she didn't want to show it because, well, it's an obvious fake. It's an obvious troll. But she was trying to hide it, and at first she was trying to say, no, this is really abuse I'm getting.
Yeah.
In a way she was right, but it's just obvious trolling for the lulz. Like, it's not to intimidate her. Who would take that seriously? Zoe Quinn at animalfetishporn.us.
Nobody.
Exactly.
Well, of course, there's always the double bluff.
To be honest, I'd take it seriously because, animal porn is very serious.
But there were people that had gaming in their email.
Yeah, one of those. I saw the person that sent it also. The one that she published in one of her tweets, and it was still at animalfetishporn.us. See a pattern?
Seriously, stop trying to pornify the pugs.
It's interesting that this is basically this is the trouble with and I'm now in 4chan, so you bastards, what a fucking mess. Just looking at this,
I'm not going to
with
4chan.
its
I
garish
don't care.
colours, and why would any of you appreciate this place? I just don't get it, man. Decorate
What about
it a little
8chan?
bit. Oh, it all just looks so awful. Honestly, it really is. I just look at it. I'm kind of going, really, guys?
To be honest, like the layout is the whole reason I never used an image board. Like that's why I've only stuck with like Reddit.
Greetings.
Fucking Reddit's
Hello,
layout
traveler.
sucks too. You can't figure out how to use it unless you taught how to.
Hello.
Well, there's
it's
there's
New
an
York
extension
Magazine,
that makes it
Conrad.
easier.
So yeah, well, obviously, Candace, whatever her name is, cares. I mean, it would be considered a national magazine by some people. But I'm just going down here and just trying to work out what the fuck anyone, Somebody goes, doxing is illegal.
Dogging is illegal.
Doxing.
Technically, actual doxing is illegal because it involves dropping people's bank account numbers and such.
Yeah, you guys. I mean, you don't you realize how easy it is to socially engineer.
What your
get
average person
information out.
does is look up your ass in a phone book and give you public information.
I mean, and it's not hard to get a LexisNexis account or a Tag Talk account.
What's this? Look at what Jesse messaged me a day after that interview published. Couldn't verify, but heard a rumor that someone was going to run a VC scam on you. So be careful. I wouldn't tweet about this. If you can send me emails you've gotten from VC firms since the chaos behind began, I might be able to help you figure out what's going on. I'm asking because you mentioned VC people had reached out. VC people?
VC, pretty self-explanatory.
VietCon? So she's getting emails from a...
It's venture capitalist.
Oh.
Yeah, she thinks everybody knows because she was working for one of those firms, so she knows everybody knows.
I'm lost.
Which always made me wonder, why didn't she go to that venture capitalist firm to get financing instead of Kickstarter? She could have gotten maybe 2-3 millions easily to build her project the right way. Why did she have to do a Kickstarter like that and hire interns?
Probably because venture capitalists want their capital to do some work, whereas Kickstarter, well, you can just change your address.
Yeah. You can run away with it.
I mean, as well as the sort of, in theory, a profit thing, but I don't know about that. For actual profit, I think venture capital is a bit more gambly than that. I'm not sure.
Oh no, it's VC is so analytical.
Yeah, I think one of her project was to at least build it a little bit, build the company a little bit, then resell it, and then because it's Kickstarter, it would be all profit.
Yeah.
Because she's pretty broke right now. She's living with her parents.
Well, it's what's it called? The Nirvana fallacy, where it's like this would do, but this would be better. So the second, the better option is the only viable option.
I can't believe what these guys are saying here. Somebody goes, what in fuck's name is Poe waiting for? And somebody goes, the right moment. Then we attack the Negress We attack Quinn, we attack Cripple Chan, we attack each other, we attack the gaming bloggers, we attack the docs and wrong people as usual. We attack B and blame CK, because why not? We attack Quinn again, we false flag our own false flags on fags. Milo makes a YouTube video about it. We attack Milo, 50% of us will then suck his cock. We blame the Jews, we worry about being controlled by the Jews. We call each other faggots. We attack the Negress again. Cripple Chan and Weed Chan attack us. We blame the Jews. We fling shit in all directions, hitting friend and enemy alike. Again, something about the Jews. we praise Trump. We attack Tumblr because too much is never enough. We troll some K guy without shooting BLM people. We dox Zed Quinn. A paraplegic vet has no fucking idea why he's getting so many pizzas. And then B feel bad for him and sent him 4 million happy birthday cards, thinking that this is a psyop from the Taliban since there isn't his birthday. Goes on a shooting spree in a local mall. It's happening.jpg. We get distracted by is XXX white poll thread and argue about that for the next 5 days. Poll in a nutshell.
Is this the weather forecast?
That's poll in a nutshell right there.
To be honest, that sounds exactly like what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, just for the record, as a connoisseur of cock, I wouldn't get into within a 10-feet radius of Milo without vomiting.
Well, you're not black, so you were never going to get anywhere anyway. Yeah.
By the size of it, you couldn't tell.
He can tell. He's a connoisseur, don't you know? Imagine if someone tried to get counterfeit sausages past you.
Greetings, Shrek, my boy. He's back. The connoisseur of cock that he is.
I decided to take a short break from ethics posting.
Yes, how goes ethics cockery?
It's actually interesting. All of a sudden, I actually have major journalists following me and paying interest.
Isn't it fun?
It is fun. Why aren't you retweeting me, you bastard?
Welcome, Sir FM. How you doing?
Wait, I'm not. It hasn't been retweeting you?
I've posted like over 100 different ethics issues, and you haven't retweeted them.
I had a bot set up to retweet your shit. You gotta tell me if it's not doing it.
It's not doing it.
Alright.
Okay, so obviously if any of you'd like to come on and talk to our stellar guests.
Clearly, I haven't.
So fill me in. What have I missed?
We're just basically going through the. We're just basically doing an autopsy on social autopsy.
Well, I think everything that can be said about the project itself and why it's a horribly bad idea has already been said. That being said, the developments are just beautiful to watch, and it once again proves the thing that I've been saying. Whenever you're gonna get interviewed, make sure you record the fucking interview.
That's if she posted
And
this at all.
hello, I'm back. Sorry, I was eating.
I needed you for a dramatic reading. We ended
Yeah,
up
Habib.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was a
the
disaster.
whole
sorry.
thing, it fell to shit because you weren't here.
Well, here's the thing. Like compared to you, Robin, like I'm gonna just disappoint the guests.
I
No,
was
I
in the
hated
back.
that.
Although I would regret it if Ad were to turn up Sol FM, I would have to wait until he did something terrible. But I'm sure he'd be okay. But so we're going through the detritus and seeing if we can find anything of worth out of what's been going on in this social autopsy business, so we can finally put it to bed and get on with our fucking lives. And so far, not found much apart from a bunch of whining millennials trying to justify their position. Mr. Seagal, whatever the fuck his name is, Single.
We need a noise for that, like a word for that noise.
This
For
isn't the
noise
guy.
of whining millennials trying to
Eh.
justify stuff. No, I don't mean an imitation, like a word for the noise, like growl or woof.
I just want to make sure this isn't the guy that we had on, that we got to come on the open house after he was like on MSNBC, right?
No.
That was a different Jesse SP something.
I guess.
Anyway, I mean, if you want to get Jesse on here, we're talking about you, Jesse. I don't think you're going to like what you're going to hear.
Say the name 3 times.
And Jesse. Fuck you, Jesse. Anyway.
Only works for one guy.
Which you'll be interviewing tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll be interviewing Mr. Smart tomorrow.
What could go wrong?
Oh yeah, and we're going to talk about his favorite topic,
Actually,
crowdfunding.
I'm probably expecting. I hope that the open house has been instrumental in the diffusing of the sort of Star Citizen crash tag.
I still can't get a refund.
No, I think we're going to touch on even today's topic when it comes to social autopsy and the way it was taken down of crowdfunding. You know, like what can be crowdfunded and what cannot be crowdfunded, and all that kind of stuff. And we'll see. I'm just going to dig his brain, and I think Troy's going to be there. I'm going to have to try and drag him there. Probably James is going to be there. Shrek, do you want to join? And we lost Shrek.
There's probably a lot of money in that kind of research, actually. Like
No, the thing is,
formal research.
the thing that I really want to touch upon is accountability. Now Kickstarter doesn't have any accountability of, whoever you kick.
I don't think they necessarily want much of that. That's the thing, because this is where they either make money or no longer make money.
Yeah, the accountability part is
Of method why it works.
that's the appeal of it. Because if they had to be very accountable, well, why not just get venture capitalists? Because then you can have expert partners to help you with the business.
Yeah, and there's the other thing, of course, that comes along with this is if they kind of go, well, if we're going to be basically overseeing you, we're going to have to take a little bit of a larger chunk of that pie. And of course, that's going to basically have, the more sort of, let's say, libertarian-focused crowdsourcing places basically licking their lips.
And I do get that. I do get the necessity of such a system. It has its place, and it's seen a lot of projects to fruition. And some of them, make a lot of money, not just because they, like the latest project that was.
Hang on a second. Stream hijack alert.
I'm sorry.
Right. Okay.
I hijacked it anyway. This is the open house. We talk about anything and everything.
That's why we're also bad at dramatic readings, because Robin never lets us practice. He takes all of the XP, and we never level up.
So wait a second.
Such a loophole.
So you're accusing the Muslim of hijacking something?
He's not a Muslim. He just lives near Muslims.
Wait, what's the difference?
Well, if he is, so am I.
I forgot.
Well, no, you can't be. I'm proud. Yeah. I can actually pronounce Allahu Akbar.
I can get a tan too. Anyway,
I doubt you could get a tan that good.
That might be a fun thing for you to do, Habib. Let's see if you can teach us to pronounce Allahu Akbar correctly.
You keep emphasizing the A in Akbar. You don't say Akbar. Akbar.
Is this a bit better for you?
Okay.
Hitting weird now.
We watch YouTube videos and
I did it again.
Yeah, Searle wants us to get ad in here. I'm not so sure.
No, just no. That guy is just no. Just
talk about derailing.
God.
Hey,
God damn.
Just before we get back on track, Habib, I killed my first thing.
Ooh, okay.
He's finally managed to get a hit in on
with one laser.
And it wasn't you, was it?
What? No, I didn't kill myself this time.
All right. Okay.
If there was a way to kill yourself with your own weapons, I probably would have figured that out. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Remember that. Proof he's not English. No, I've got a little bit of Greek in me apparently. Anyway, I'm sorry that I'm going to have to do this, but it's going to be the Randy Harper document. I am going to read her words, and God, there's too many of them. I may skip over some of it.
Do not read from the Book of the Dead!
Why, Robin? Why are you doing this?
Well, because...
You don't know, Robbie, we will be taken down for harassment by actually
No,
reading her
look,
words.
there's all
We're
kinds of
banned
people
from
that are
knowing her
doing this.
words.
There's all kinds of people that are doing this, making their punditry about this sort of thing. We're here for the info, folks. Let's get this out the way so that we can put it to bed and get on with our fucking lives. Robin Gething, 2016. I'm not usually a fan of open letters, but given the history of their founder with exposing private conversation, that's how I'm going to do it. Why not? I've been trying to write this post for 3 days, but every attempt has resulted in a way more snark that I'm comfortable with because I'm really that angry about everything that's happened so far. Fuck it! That's it. This is how it reads. This post is not at all a complete and exhaustive list of everything that is wrong.
Robin, you clearly know more punctuation marks than I do.
It's just the bullshit that is pissing me off the most. Wow. Gee, this is somebody who's kind of like, I want to stop online harassment and, let's all hug. Jesus Christ. This is where the social justice warrior in her, I love the picture. That so doesn't look like you, Randy.
To be fair, Robin, Jesus Christ probably would want everyone to just get along.
Come on, yeah.
Are we
Probably.
done?
Yeah,
Okay.
You know me. I just like one bad joke and then I'm in and out.
Yeah, just grab that coat. To the founder of Social Autopsy, Candace Owens, or is it Candace Amber? Your company lists you with 2 different names. Pick one!
Maybe there's another person who works there called Candace.
Hi.
Da-da-da.
Oh, right, sorry, now she's going to be nice. Hi, welcome to the fight against online harassment. There's a lot of us working together on this problem, but it's small enough that we all know each other. And we talk a lot. It's a pretty diverse group of people. We all recognize that we've got different strengths. So we tend to focus on educating others on our specialities while listening and learning from the rest of the group. Yes, I'm sure you're going to be sitting here listening and learning from Candice. I'm
The
Randy Lee
Landwell
Harper.
is,
I focus
specialist
on the
in
technical
harassment.
aspects of online harassment. I provide tech companies with advice on social component design, create tools to help people being harassed, research community and communication patterns on social media.
Well, Robin, let me ask.
Is this too much? Sorry.
Well, on that last bit, when these people say that, like, oh, I do consulting work for companies.
Thank you for correcting there, sir. Very important.
What do you guys imagine how they got that job? Like, did they go into an interview, or do you think they just knew someone and were like, hey, we're gonna bring this person in?
I think she just walked in with a donut and just like kind of going, yeah, I'm Randy.
If you don't hire
I'm
me,
here to
you're
make you better."
sexist.
It occurs to me that when she says that
Where
she
are the
does
sexists?
research into the technical aspects of
Where are the
harassment,
white women at?
doesn't the idea of her doing research into harassment explain a lot of her behavior?
I mean, yeah.
She's researching.
If you can surround yourself with it, then that's kind of all you see.
So are we done? Shall I move on to my Angry Dark
Yeah.
Tribe? I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
I've been doing this
Yeah.
for a while. Prior to this, I was an engineer for 15 years. Lies! My primary focus was systems. Sorry. I've had a pretty broad career. I'm sorry, darling, but, pretty broad. That is not a word that I can say when it comes to you.
Or you should use it all.
Unless you're referring to her plate.
I've had a pretty broad career and have filled most tech roles at some point. Certainly the chair. So I can speak to many aspects of the tech industry. I left my career to focus on online harassment.
Taken literally, it's so true.
After a domestic violence incident targeted my friend Zoe Quinn. Yes, the woman who spoke to you on the phone. Escalated into the most publicly discussed online harassment campaign to date. and I thought I'd cash in. I spoke out about this harassment, and in return, I was targeted as well. I wrote some code that blocked most of those people on Twitter, and in return, someone tried to kill me in an attempted swatting.
Yep.
Very
true.
What, didn't you get a parking ticket? I've had to go into hiding. My own mother doesn't know my home address. I'm sure she doesn't want to know. I know a little about what it's like to be harassed online. You do know a little. And how that harassment can escalate. I'm telling you my credentials so you can understand where I'm coming from when I tell you unequivocally you're a goddamn train wreck.
She literally describes the narrative of her own victimization as credentials.
Yes.
Like the veil just is not there anymore, is it? This is like that some event in the White Wolf's World of Darkness series that like they're all working to avoid, like the whatever it's called, the delirium is gone. There is no more pretense. They're just literally honest. Like, yeah, the victim credentials.
This goes to show, folks, the drugs don't work. You seem to think that online harassment is just mean words on the internet. This is not the case. Online harassment is far more nuanced, and escalation takes many forms, including, but not limited to, dogpiling, when a large group of people flood one person with enough messages that sorting through the mess is nearly impossible. Violent threats, often sexual in nature when the target is a woman. Doxing. This includes posting someone's home address, phone number, or other personal information that is not intentionally publicly available, such as an employer. De-anonymizing is also a form of doxing. Swatting. When a false threat is called to the police with the home address of the target in an attempt to get SWAT team to descend. People and dogs have died because of SWAT. This is an attempted murder by cop. Mail fraud. Once someone has been doxed, it is uncommon for them to be signed up for a large number of subscription services. In many cases, people have been mailed dangerous or toxic items in an attempt to harm or intimidate. Career threats. Employers, conferences, or anyone that publicly associated with a target will be emailed with an intention of causing ostracization or long-term financial harm. Really, I'm listening to this, and this sort of is like her resume. You know, it's like kind of, this is the services that we offer. SEO bombs, creating multiple web pages with defamatory statements that will be on top of Google's search results when searching for a target's home. Social media impersonation, creating accounts with the target's name and photo. This is often followed by sending messages with that account to associates of the target. These accounts are often protected by the parody clause of TOS. All of this sound pretty bad, right? Some things we can all agree are awful, like doxing and swatting. But when we talk about dogpiling, that's when labeling someone as being harasser becomes a problem. Yes, the target is being harassed, but a lot of social media platform design... Let me just eat another donut. Yes, the target is being harassed, but a lot of social media platform design... Yes, I'm saying she's fat.
No, I'm just saying
sorry.
that sound didn't sound like eating a donut.
Well, I don't actually have a donut to hand.
Yeah, no, it just sounded like something completely different.
What did it sound like? Pizza?
It sounded like you were gargling cock.
It sounded like someone was eating a donut, but whole.
Are you done? Are we done here?
Yes, we're done.
Anything else? Anyone want to?
Fairness, have you listened to her actually eat a donut before?
No.
Yeah, maybe
go. So how do you know that's not what it sounds like?
Yeah, maybe Randy Harper's donut eating noise sounds like she's gobbling down a cock.
So we're not done.
I am also just trying to get XP.
Yes, this is how you gain XP, is it? But a lot of social media platform designs make interactions mostly one-to-one. It's not obvious that someone with an unpopular statement is receiving hundreds of similar messages. If blame must be issued, most of it could be piled at the feet of social media companies themselves for creating a platform that makes this problem so common. So get off the fucking internet, you horrible harridan.
Well,
hang on,
Mean words
no,
suck.
actually, hold on. It's not that simple, and I think we should, examine the statement. So, basically, you want an audience to yell at, yet at the same time, ideally, not have anybody respond to you.
That's social. Mean words suck, but few people wake up in the morning thinking, I'm going to be an arsehole today.
I feel that on a daily basis.
You really don't know yourself. People are complex. Holy shit, really? And a few mean words without context doesn't make them bad people. Most people aren't good or bad. They have bad days. They might have politics or belief that you don't like. But that doesn't mean that they belong on some kind of naughty list created by some kind of naive online Santa Claus. You mean like a block list?
Yeah.
Are you shitting me?
Are you sure this is Randy Harper's thing that you've got here, Robin? It's I can't even
This is Randy. Serve me a double portion, Harper.
Oh, and can I just say that thing about saying that social media companies are like it's their fault for creating a thing? It's like saying that it's our fault that children starve in the third world because we've cut down on the imperialistic wars.
Indeed.
Not
This
too much. But a little
is
bit.
Randy. Bury me in an egg-shaped coffin, Harper.
But how? Self-awareness has officially reached negative levels.
I can't. I don't even have words for this. Like seriously, I have no words.
This is Randy. Be nice or I'll fuck you up, Harper.
She almost divided by 0.
Is self-awareness harassment?
No, it is a social construct.
I'm giving you this free. I'm giving you this free advice after you decided to publicly shit on Zoe, after she tried to talk you out of your platform. Oh yeah, of course. No.
But just for context here, what was Zoe's actions that are currently being described as talk you out? Like, what did she do?
Leaking her email address to her group of followers, who then proceeded to.
Okay.
Which was, here's her email address. Go fuck her up.
Okay, I see. So So Zoe Quinn talking you out of it means Zoe Quinn attacking immediately by doxing.
Yeah.
Right. Just okay. I'm good now. Now that's clear.
Going to Twitter to talk about it immediately afterwards on a social autopsy account is shady as hell. I see that you deleted the tweet, so I'll remind you of the content. You stated that some Gamergate woman is being aggressive and that she didn't understand what you were doing, and that she started crying on the phone because she was so upset. This is gross. Why would you make a private conversation where she was trying to help you public? Well, yeah. Nobody makes anything public now, do they? You then proceeded to state that she was leading Gamergate, and that she's the cause of all the harassing messages you received. That's right, the person that was the original target of the most publicly known online harassment mob! The woman that made Forbes 30 under 30 list. Did she really?
For the record, you can soon order the T-shirt. I was here. Most known online harassment mob, 2016.
Talk to Shrek Bane at Shrek Bane on Twitter.
Wait, you can order that shirt for real? Not no joke, because I'll buy it.
We should do this.
I'll hook you up.
I harass women for free.
Why doesn't the open house have like a Teespring thing, and we can
a Teespring?
Like, you know how Harmful has a, he does like every couple months does a shirt.
Oh
shop.
right, okay. I thought that was some sort of practical joke for somebody's drink. All right, okay. That's right. The person.
Well.
You like that? Okay, take that with you. That's right. The person that was the original target of the most publicly known online harassment mob. The woman that made Forbes 30 under 30 list for her fantastic work in creating Crash Override that does fuck all. A resource for victims of online harassment. Trying to blatantly give you free advice. Blatantly. Because we all want to be helpful for new people that are trying to create online harassment solutions. So your help was to say, stop. That was the help, and you didn't think that there may be a little bit of passive aggressiveness that was going to come your way.
And especially
we
because
really like what you're doing here, but you really should not do it.
Wasn't part of her justification rant a little earlier on in the text something about just because people have different politics, and what is politics if not ideas of how to solve problems? So, like, the disagreement here is that they had different politics regarding social media harassment, and they went nuts about it, and now she's saying, just because people's politics are different from yours, ...
Like, wow. So, and you told Kathy Young that she was bullying you. You are a fucking idiot. So, gloves off. I'm going to tell you now that why your idea is shit. Yeah, I'm doing this as a public service because I am terrified that more people are going to step up and make the same mistakes that they try to capitalize on an industry without having any clue what the fuck they're doing. It was taking me nearly 2 years to figure all of this out. Really? 2 years?
I think
and I still have no clue what I'm doing.
So it's no surprise that anyone blindly wandering in is getting it wrong. You aren't the first, and I'm sure you won't be the last. No, Randy, you will be the last.
Yeah, I think her objective here is to say, hey guys, hire me as a consultant. I won't charge much.
But I'll tell you, your idea is shit. It's about ethics in harassment data.
Yeah.
Exposing people's names in list form is a bad thing.
That's why I do it individually in singular tweets.
When you're talking about online harassment, like a block list.
Yeah, how else do you do... I don't know. I don't know.
No, it's Twitter's fault for allowing block lists to exist, you see.
I love how you write, by the way, Randy. You can feel the humility, can't you? As it hits you in the face like an anvil.
I am kind of against block
she's actually
lists
making me slightly
for Twitter.
horny. Anyway.
No, you would just wait to get quote mined there.
Well, that could be the
Was that Troy who just spoke there? You just wait to get quote mined.
Randy Harper makes me horny. There you go.
But why is... I don't see a good argument for why a block list is
I've been trying to get you fed up, but you just won't take all that food. Anyway, exposing people's names on a list form is a bad thing when you're talking about online harassment. This includes targets as well as perpetrators. You're stating that no one will be able to browse a list, but given your site design and lack of robots.txt, this list is easily exposed by anyone that does a Google search. Yeah! Let's talk about easily exposed when it comes to a fucking...
Google search?
Yeah, well, have we got... Shall we bring up the Blockbot list, shall we? Why are you encrypting this data on the back end? What is your security? How are you encrypting this data on the back end? What is your security like? I don't really have a plan with that, given the downtime you've had due to no scalability. Those lists are often targeted by black hat hackers that are looking for easy targets. I'm going in the red a little bit here, guys, sorry, but they can hear me. These are important questions. Cross-referencing social media profile is really difficult to do, not on a technical level, but the ethics of this is something you really spend some time thinking about. You should really spend time thinking about, because I didn't. This has a potential to anonymize people So de-anonymize. So making
Doesn't
that
just be anonymize.
so
Well, now I want to know what that word is. What is the past tense of anonymity, or I don't know.
Well, it's anonymity, so like having a name would be to have anonymity, I suppose, or possibly just nimity.
So well, just anyway. So,
Bad writing. Keep going on.
Yes, thank you for fuck's sake. So making that information publicly available is effectively doxing them, and you don't do that now, do you? Much harassment is the product of conflicting political beliefs. Well, at least you're willing to admit that. How long would it take for a political protester to have their data exposed, which could lead to their government jailing them? Oh, you're agreeing with Randy Harper, Focus. Do you want to clean your teeth?
I need a shower.
Are you ready to take responsibility for that happening? Screenshots of harassment, including sensitive information such as threats or doxing. What assurances of privacy can you give users? The submission form of other sites is anonymous, so you have no assurance that the person submitting the harassment is the person receiving it. If they aren't, that's the whole new level of fucked up, because now you've got other people exposing the sensitive information. People are submitting screenshots, and these are easily faked by bringing up a dev console in any browser. And well, at least she knows how to do it, doesn't she?
Well, guess why?
Yeah. I don't have a URL submission, which frankly isn't surprising given that you've stated you intended for friends to de-anonymize the person doing the harassment. Not all harassment happens in the public sphere, and many statuses are set to private. You're stating you plan on verifying this data. How will you do it if it's private? API tie-ins for common platforms would be a better choice.
So yeah, she is. She's just trying to advertise that if you're trying to invade people's privacy, she doesn't want to be left out.
Yeah, hire her.
That
She
is
knows what she's talking about.
That's what I'm getting from this. She's angry because she feels left out. She feels like this is her turf.
It sounds like a one-sided job interview.
Yeah.
Hey, I run the online harassment.
We all go
shit,
into a job
okay?
interview, and the first thing we say to our potential boss is, all of your ideas are shit. You know this. This is how you get work.
Yeah.
You have the responsibility here that you've. I should write this down if when I'm going to a job interview. You have a responsibility here that you've repeatedly tried to shrug off. I've actually said that to my boss. When you put a product like this out into the world, you have a plan on how it will be abused. Well,
Wait, what?
Obviously.
Oh, she's saying you should have. Right.
Yeah. She's now thinking for her, of course, which of course we all know Randy loves to do. You have to think about the worst case scenario and how your product can be used to hurt people. You are actually talking about how you make your products, isn't it? How is this going to hurt people the most? There is nothing to keep someone from creating an account impersonating someone else and submitting that data. There is no contextual awareness. The very common scenario is for someone to say something abusive, then their target responds by saying something that out of context seems overly aggressive and borderline abusive. This is a normal reaction to being abused. No, it's not. Not a normal reaction, Harper. That's your reaction to being abused, which is kind of going, Randy, could you please go away? We don't need you here.
Didn't she say people are complex, like, in the beginning of this thing?
Yeah, I think in literal terms she's correct. That is actually a normal reaction to being abused. It's just that people saying mean things to you on Twitter is not abuse.
Just go out a pox on both of your houses and put both of them in your database. Do you really think that that's helpful? I mean, we could have said this to Randy 2 years ago, and this wouldn't. She would have been like, "Stop harassing me, man."
And the whole thing about you don't know. She said something about how it's easy to make basically sock accounts, and then it's like, what's the whole thing about? Oh, we don't think these are actual Gamergate supporters. And it's like, really? So she's the expert who's saying that, oh, you can't stop people from just making fake accounts and putting up basically false flag stuff.
Well, hold on. Have you already forgotten her sock brololos?
No, that was that wasn't Randy Harper. That was Brianna. Woo.
Yeah, she never left her house.
Oh,
Yeah.
that thing.
Yeah.
The house that she was driven from.
Yes, but the question is, did she pay for the consulting on how to create said account?
Oh, and just for the quote miners in the audience, when I said, oh, that thing, I was not referring to Brianna.
What have you got to say for yourself, feminist period? What was the name again, sorry?
Feminist period or
right,
feminist
I did get
flow.
it right. My memory is working today.
Yeah, I use
Must be the
both.
drugs.
It's not really Robin.
Yeah, it's
Andy
just,
has taken over him. That's why he's sounding so spiteful reading this.
Yeah. No, but the thing I have for against Randy here is, yeah, sometimes she brings up good point that I'll give her, but yeah, that's the only thing I agree to give her. But does the CEO of a company need to know all the nitty-gritty technical details? Shouldn't they hire somebody to take care of that later on when they really build the project? Like, does the CEO need to be a tech person to run a tech company?
Well, to be honest with you, if you were listening to the FAQs, the problem that she has is, of course, once she's made these promises, she's going to have to get this tech person to be able to basically do all of this. And when it's basically like handing somebody a bunch of knots and go, could you untie this, please? And it's kind of going, it's like a ball. Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, you guys have listened to that FAQ, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody in the programming sphere, tell me how that's supposed to be approached. How would you do it? How would you actually do it?
Actually, it's quite simple. You just start from having proven that P equals NP.
Right.
Which is a bit of an insider joke for maths, I suppose. Not many people will get that. But I don't care. I made the joke and I'm happy with it.
All of your jokes are internal, you know that.
Yes.
I get it, and that's enough.
Okay. Oh, you're just quoting, right? Paraphrasing. I thought you were saying that you do get it.
No.
I could explain, but I think that would be worse.
Get to the point, damn it.
Okay. Well, I just P and NP is like P
no,
is the
no, you a spurious nutcase.
No, okay. Well, the joke I was getting at is no, you can't. You'd have to be able to demonstrate that all problems are solvable mathematically and simply, which they are not.
Apparently,
it's
Sir FM got it, and it was bad.
Yes, thank you. At least someone recognizes how terrible my humor is, instead of all these chumps who just think I'm not telling jokes.
No, we know you're telling jokes, and yes, we know they're bad. We just don't get them all. And so,
I wasn't meant to derail us this much. Fucking hell, Robin, get on with it.
Yes, and I agree with Sir FM. Stop. In your video FAQ, you stated that you thought this site, which will become a platform for doxing, is great for children. Not only is that really not a good culture fit within the way teenagers use the internet, but this would also be illegal. Copper protects children, and you should probably talk to a lawyer, or maybe you finally looked up what this meant after a bunch of people tweeted it at you, because now you're stating that this site is never intended for kids. We must have just imagined you going on and on about how it was going to be great for young kids to use your product to report bullying. Liz, welcome.
Morning, children. I see you're going over this abortion of the letter.
How do, sugar?
I'm doing fine. I'm just watching you guys get cancer. Thought I'd join in, get some too.
Well, we're just going through this, getting it out of the way, so if anybody has to basically just trawl through this detritus, they know somebody was there with them at the time, holding their hand.
I've got a magnetron blasting at my stomach, smoking, and
it's
taking omega-3.
That's all right. Well, I'm going to be gathering information for the rest of this week and doing a sum-up report at where we stand at this particular moment. I've already done a intermediate report of, we got it unfunded. But yeah, I want to go into the mindset of this person. Of, by the way, this is being done because this person thinks like a child on the internet. So this will be fun. Absolutely.
You stated that the current site was a fake database with dummy data. Those people are real. I manually verified a few of them by doing a reverse Google image search. The complete list has already been doxed on some shitty troll board. You are responsible for this happening. This is your fault. Why am I feeling a Sargon's law here?
How does she know it's already been put on some shitty troll board if she doesn't go to those shitty troll boards?
Perhaps she already went to the shitty troll board and put them all there. You said that each submission will be reviewed. Your current platform allows anyone to submit information about another person, and that content is immediately posted with no review. In fact, someone exploiting this functionality to upload an image called index.jpg, which due to your shitty coding, now Randy, now when we talk about shitty coding, yeah.
Are you familiar with the glass house thing?
Yeah, you really, yeah, it's no.
The fun part is that they fixed the coding, quote unquote, and then I figured out how to get it in again.
You do realise we've all seen what your list has done, and we've all got the list. So you have no position to speak. Allowed someone to make your front page anti-Semitic.
You just objectify right there.
Yeah, you talked about how you wanted trolling to have repercussions and mentioning listing profiles as well as employers. Given how easy it would be to have random people adding to this database, this is going to be abused. I guess you eventually came to this conclusion because you're now saying that you won't accept employer data. That's weird, because it's still a part of your submission form. Zoe, a well-known activist and anti-harasser org founder, calling you to give you free advice. She knows as well as I do how this platform is going to be exploited. But you chose to ignore her. You told her that she wasn't supporting you. Well, telling you to basically close a company down, that's not really very supportive. And then you went to the group that's been targeting her and violating her confidentiality while talking about how you were being bullied by her. You then proceeded to blame the harassment you were getting from that group on her. What the fuck? Look, Fluffhead. Is that a racial slur?
Yeah. It's almost like idiotception. It's like how do you double infinite asshole dumbasses on the internet? They've done it.
The Mobius loop of idiocy.
It hurts.
Somebody telling you that there's only one side. Somebody telling you that your idea is shit isn't bullying. Oh, have you finally twigged now, Randy?
No. She's saying that when she says something is shit, that's not bullying.
Randy, your ideas
remember, she can
are shit. And I know you're listening, because you're always listening, aren't you?
Stop getting that close to the mic.
Always out there, somewhere.
I just woke up, dude. I will fuck you up, dude. Don't. Stop.
Look, it's not our fault all those dieting techniques didn't work.
Liz, Randy watches you sleep.
Exercise.
That's actually
Really get closer to my mic.
Here's one for Randy.
No,
I'm a size 3 in dresses. You can do it too.
You were condescending, annoying, and thought you knew better than everyone else. I think you'll find that Zoe was being condescending, annoying, and thought she knew better than everyone else.
Yeah, this person she's describing, well, she sounds like my new waifu.
You have a what?
Never mind.
No.
That was a self-deprecating joke.
I know, and you're not allowed to be that lame that you have a waifu.
I love how bad some Americans are at English. And she goes, I get that someone said mean things to you in high school, and that sucks. I'm empathetic, really. And it's like, no, you empathize, really. But just because you've been harassed doesn't mean you know how to create solutions to address the problem. That's right. Now,
But she just spend like 45 minutes giving her harassment profile?
yeah. Once you're harassed, of course, that means that you're an expert on harassment. Right?
That's right. And getting run over makes you a mechanic.
Or as you say, just because you like saying that just because you drive a car, you know how to repair one. So you are now agreeing with Randy Harper here. Just saying.
That's right. Shoot people and you become a doctor.
Mm.
That's actually, that would solve a lot of the medical crisis. Just, that's what the gun lobbies are on about. Fucking hell, wake up, people.
Just remember, a clock that's stuck is right 2 times a fucking day. That doesn't mean the rest of the shit the clock is saying is correct.
Well, the thing is that some bad clocks are actually ticking, so they're always wrong all day.
Yeah.
They've just been set at the wrong time.
If they're 3 hours ahead, then you're always panicking and in a rush.
No, well, Randy Harper's always been about, 10 hours behind, so.
Well, yeah, actually. I mean, how long's it been since for people to say all this stuff to her? And now she's maybe twigging on, or maybe she's just decided that this person is the enemy, so she will say whatever is necessary to fight against, and, maybe...
I think she was butthurt that she didn't get invited into her harassment playground, and the other lady... It's like, it's Dumb and Dumber. I swear to God, it's literally Dumb and Dumber.
I think maybe part of it could be that she doesn't want anyone else in on it, because her being in on the racket, it's not just because it's her racket, it's that if anyone else is in control of it, she'll get found out.
Also, you got to remember, when it comes to butthurt, it does have to carry a lot of weight, and yours would hurt too if it had to.
She definitely carries a lot of fucking weight.
And then there's basically her just stop with the woman in tech bullshit diatribe. Oh, aren't you cute, adorable? You're making women look like idiots in engineering and stuff like that. And I'm sitting there kind of going, yeah. And you are just a fucking ambassador for women in tech.
Maybe, size of the woman does not make you more of a woman. Just saying. Just saying. Your mass
it just
total,
makes you more woman.
Yeah, it doesn't make you count as more than one woman.
And this girl just jokes about misappropriating funds, Randy. How's that bill coming?
Mm-hmm.
The person who tried to dox a fucking tax collector. No, a fucking debt collector.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it wasn't a tax collector.
Probably to pay for your fucking meth habit.
Anyway. This is the thing: is surely a debt collector could always just do the same thing back to you, right? Because surely
they already
information,
They've
right?
They
got
already
it,
have. Yeah, they already have it.
Just
But
stop. I've been
she can't be on
listing
meth.
a few of the problems here. There are so many, and this post is already too long. So it is. And if you really want help in understanding how to do better, I suggest you send a bunch of apology emails and learn to be humble. Learn to accept the help of people that have been doing this longer, people who have done the research, people who know the concerns. We're still here, and we'll still help, but you have done fucked up. We don't trust you. If you really want to become a force against online harassment, you're going to have to work on fixing that. Do you know what she's going to say to that? You fucking horrible, horrible cunt. Go fuck yourself. And like the rest of us. Randy, you have no sympathy, empathy, or anything. You are a coke fiend. That is all you are. You are a terrible, horrible human being who has nothing in their lives. The only thing that you cannot manage in this world is suicide.
Oh.
You blamed your Kickstarter getting shut down on trolls. You're wrong. That was us. As long as you're willfully harming other people by creating shitty, uninformed products while kicking the shit out of anyone that tries to help you, we're going to keep getting you shut down. So you admit it, Randy. You are the fucking problem. Get the fuck off. Find a knife and get it done with. You will not be missed.
I think reading Randy Harper's words is making Robin wrathful.
Robin,
Honestly,
please.
He is getting really, yeah.
Okay.
It'll be so much
Dark
better.
there, Robin. You're getting a little dark.
Yeah. Step
Robin,
into the
get a little
light.
dark.
Step
Pull
into
back,
the
pull
light.
back, pull back. You're going into the abyss.
The abyss that is Randy Harper.
You're going into the hate abyss.
Just
Do you
go.
not?
Just go. It'll be better.
If you stare into the abyss too long, the abyss calls you a harasser.
It's so quiet. It's so quiet.
Robin, I'm
and warm
serious.
and lovely.
Yeah,
Chill out.
Yeah,
What?
really.
Sorry.
Chill.
You're going into a territory here that I don't want to see you in.
It's all right. It's all right. I'm not in
it's not.
skullfuck mode yet. This is really basically just poking. Just the tip.
God, I don't want to know what it's like when you go balls deep.
This isn't skullfuck mode. This is just the tip in the ear. You've created
No,
more
I'm
work for
serious.
me in the past three days.
Aww.
But I'd rather invest this time now. What is it? Took you 3 days to write this? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, she said that at the start, didn't she?
You have created more work for me in the past 3 days, but I'd rather invest this time now because of this bullshit doesn't get nipped in the bud early. It's just another fucking platform that I'm going to have to try to help protect people from in the future. Great sentence structure there, Randy. Thank God you're not a writer. So there you go. That is the Randy post.
Oh, wasn't there? There's a huge retort to that. Have you read on the page of 180 Degrees yet?
Do you want to do the reading for that so I don't have to?
Somebody with a better voice can do that because I've recently lost mine. And so I could read in a few minutes. I just woke up. But have you gone to that page? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Don't worry about my empathy routine. I only really give it to humans.
No, I'm just wondering. Have you gone to 180?
I'm just talking to Searle FM.
Hey, wait a second.
I'm old enough to know that there are some people in this world that don't really need to exist.
You don't give empathy
they
to
don't have the
dogs?
guts to basically just go. So it's a public service in my mind. Stop,
So wait.
Randy. Just stop the breathing. It's not worth it.
Are you suggesting
You don't give
that when
empathy
Randy,
to dogs. Well,
Are you,
that ain't fair.
are you suggesting when Randy tells so many people to go kill themselves that's just
Die in a fire. Die in a fire,
another
you horrible
instance of
harridan.
Sargon's law?
You will be missed by nobody. Do it. Anyway, if she can do it, I can do it too. Remember, this isn't bullying, this isn't harassment, this is merely criticism. I'm criticizing her for not shuffling off this mortal coil quick enough.
I'm getting the thing to keep you reading to stop you from going completely insane.
No, it's all right. There's only certain things that get me that far. I've already actually gone off at Randy Harper for blue herring her dog.
She died. Wait, what?
Oh, she's done a lot of fucking crazy things.
Alright, here you go. I don't know if you've read this. This gives the entire breakdown from the words of Candace Owens of everything that has gone on, and this is her sub-site here, where she, this is her blog post in her actual company site. And this gives the breakdown until a couple of days ago when her company lost its funding. I do not know if there's a current post about that, but that should give, that is some beautiful snippets here, where she honestly thinks that how a torpedo kickstarted unintentionally revealed an unlikely unit of cyber terrorists, referring to people like Zoe Quinn and Randy Harper, stating that they are internet terrorists. I'm not kidding you. And so it's real fun. I just gotta get it to open up all
Well,
the
to
way.
be fair, the bar for terrorism has gone awfully low lately.
Well,
Yeah,
I think ISIS has to be asking themselves, what the hell are we doing wrong?
The thing is that she thinks that Zoe Quinn is Gamergate. What happened is that now that she has heard the word dox by Randy Harper and Zoe Quinn, anytime somebody came up to her and wrote a letter stating you are doxing people, she went, aha, you're a part of Zoe's army that she sent you. And they're like, you don't know who Gamergate is, or Zoe Quinn is. And they started asking her questions. So she's like, oh, Zoe Quinn is Gamergate. I'm not fucking kidding you. She's got everything fucking so wrong, it's not even funny.
I didn't know Zoe Quinn was one of your sock accounts, Shrek.
Yeah, and it's literally, this is from the words, let me get a drink, and this is the words on 180 degrees.
Hey, I keep my socks in pristine condition, okay? No need to be rude.
You come in your socks and leave them curled up in the corner to feel the pain, you know it. Let me light a cigarette here.
What is wrong with you?
Shrek, you've known me for a while now. You know everything is wrong with me. Absolutely everything. What is wrong with you? The answer is yes.
And to answer your question, no, I don't waste it like that. I actually own the book Natural Harvest, Cooking with Semen.
I'm supposed to go to your country and eat food with you. This is not something you tell me. This is not something you tell me. Or think about.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm gonna ask Robin to put the Amazon link into the description of the video later.
Chat's got the right idea. Who is it? Sir LaFemme saying, well, they do use fear for political change. You know, technically, the terrorism thing is true. Just as technically I'm a feminist. You know? I think recent events in various spheres have shifted certain words. You know, like in America, the use of the word liberal to mean radical left-wing, it's like, no, that's not what it means.
well, this article here, I am not kidding you. She started off as a dramatic reading. Apparently, Candace Owens wanted to be a writer and failed at it miserably. This whole thing starts off going, I imagine it may have gone something like this. Wait, I missed something. Why is my computer not letting me scroll up? Okay, how a torpedo Kickstarter campaign unintentionally... okay, yeah, here we go. This is how I was supposed to start to read it. How a torpedo Kickstarter campaign unintentionally revealed an unlikely unit of cyber terrorists. I imagine it must have gone something like this. Zoe sat down at her computer. She was scrolling through hashtags and retweets pertaining to one issue upon her notoriety and personal brand hinged to cyberbullying. Maybe she was twirling her hair. Maybe she was drinking coffee. Maybe she was sitting atop her bed in sweatpants.
Not her mustache?
Relevant point... her pubic hair. Relevant point here, of course, is that she logged onto the internet. She fantasized about what Zoe Quinn was doing the moment she ran into her site. I am not kidding you. What? These are Candace's words. Perhaps she saw it right there on Twitter with a hashtag cyberbullying affixed to it. Yeah, with the hashtag cyberbullying affixed to it. Perhaps it was one of her 73,000 followers messaging it to her, or perhaps it landed right on her feed, having been circulated by by the very anti-bullying organization she followed. The relevant point here is, of course, she saw it. Can you just get to the fucking relevant point then? She was on the internet, she saw it. Okay. The 21.5-minute video of what she perceived to be an unintelligible group of young women talking about how they were going to, quote-unquote, break the internet, literally, with a link to a video following a brief BuzzFeed-like description laced with much too obvious jokes and small jabs regarding women working in the field of technology. You're honestly stating that you created a video that's very BuzzFeed and clickbaity. Very good. At least to admit this, Candace. The video had come from Kickstarter.com, a crowdfunding platform, which by a nomenclature. I don't know that word. Nome.
Nomenclature. It's the pronouns thing.
Okay, and nomenclature suggests an earlier stage for any company, and yet it was enough to strike a nerve within Zoe, a real one. You're fucking kidding me. This lady. Wow. This is literally Idiot Inception. That's what you should name this. Idiot Inception. Maybe maybe the sit spit. What? The sit spit out of her coffee. Maybe she spit. Sit spit. Wow.
Did you want me to take over?
No, look at the words. Maybe she spit out her coffee.
That's like that, right?
Typos.
I guess. If you want to take over, my throat's still
Yeah. Perhaps she froze with a
recovering.
strand of hair still wrapped around her finger. The point here, of course, that whatever she was doing, she had now stopped to pay full attention. Dum dum dum. The facts of the matter are that Zoe Quinn then unleashed a Twitter assault, an early, aggressive move against a company that she really knew nothing about. To be precise, she released 22 back-to-back tweets aimed at the project, presenting herself as a former victim who knew that such a solution to end cyberbullying would not work.
No, it's called Zoe had a moment of clarity. I'm sorry, I read them. She did.
Well, I mean, she'd be first on the list, you see, because people would start posting up things about her.
Yeah, she's like, oh no, I'll be on that site first thing. Oh no.
Spreading people's abuse is quite often not at all what they want. Anything is public facing at all has to be treated with privacy. That's not going to work if it's public facing, you idiot. And onset as the two biggest ethos, or else it's crap, he wrote among many other things. He received instant support and favouring by the dozens. This wasn't what, that wasn't what she wanted. It wasn't what she wanted at all. The day was just beginning to wind down. At least she's painting a picture here. It's very creative writing. It's a dusky night.
Yeah.
The rain swept on the windowsill. She looked up, scratching her ass. Found a small little tiny Klingon hanging to one of her ass hairs, picked it up and flicked it at the window. It stuck. She needed a wash. Anyway, the day was beginning to wind down. She hadn't slept the night prior, as the nerves of my very first crowning effort had begun to take a real toll. What the hell? We were up to $2,700. Not bad for the first 13 hours of fundraising. Wink, wink. And our friends and family were promising to push even hardest for us the next day. Okay, great English. She had pulled together the campaign seamlessly. We were networked. We were networked with other anti-bullying organizations beforehand, and were happy to see the Tyler Clementi Foundation was among the first. Simon greets.
Great.
The first to retweet our Kickstarter effort that morning. I had been emailing. Oh, I hate that. I had been emailing back and forth with them, as we wanted to make sure our campaign would simultaneously provide support for our day organization. Myself, a huge fan of their mission. I was wearing the lack of sleep on my face. I had been hitting the refresh button on our campaign page every few minutes to watch the dollar amount rise. Well, nice to see that you knew exactly what you were looking at. Had we done enough? Could we do more? Ever the perfectionist, doubt had begun to rear its ugly head. No, those were bags under your eyes. Because we had switched the verbiage on our campaign last second, a decision I had made personally, to make it more digestible. I read an article entitled "Mistakes People Make on Kickstarter" the night prior. It listed not knowing the Kickstarter community. Ooh, somebody's giving me a Mirror's Edge closed beta. Yes, please, Sweeve.
Robert, I gotta jump out.
Everything must stop. Everything must stop.
See you later.
Oh, free shit? Yes, please. Wait, so what exactly is the topic tonight? Because just kind of dropped in.
We're conducting a social autopsy on social autopsy.
I've just responded with, "Ooh, please, thank you, Daddy." Right, let's move on.
I put the link in the side chat again for you because you just jumped in.
Okay,
So, speaking of social deconstructions, apparently nationalists' white supremacy is on the rise in Poland.
yay! What could go wrong?
Yeah. Well, what did you say, Robin? Oh, these guys are just in office for 2 months. Give them a chance. Well, chances were given. We are here now. Thoughts?
Gas them, I believe, is the next appropriate solution.
The economy.
We can provide equipment for that.
Well, Shrek, I appreciate the gesture, but you were so kind to leave all this lovely equipment on your way out last time. We'll get by.
It's on Origin.
Ooh, that's a deal breaker right there. Well, then again, it is a beta.
I will respond with, "I'll just hold my nose." Anyway, because we had switched verbiage, pardon us, we now have a small sound of a sewing machine in the background now. If I can get that off of there. Yes, Magda, you're sorry.
It's part of the jazz.
It's part of the jazz. Nice.
You didn't have to ruin the veneer by telling people. It's transformative percussion.
I think everybody knows the level of professionalism that the open house displays. So
damn right, you got to uphold those standards.
Indeed. Well, the polls here in Wiltshire, UK, are boring as always. They are Nazi-free so far. Yeah, so they've escaped. You're basically leaving the nutters in Poland at this point. Who would have thought nationalists wouldn't leave their country?
Yeah, I think the economy's going to get a bit shit.
Not that many
What,
of them
in
could
Poland?
afford to.
Implying it wasn't shit already.
Well, nationalists not good for economies.
Actually, well, at least on an economic level, these guys seem to be sane. I mean, these aren't the same nut jobs that want us to fucking close down the borders and just get by on everything made in Poland. Yeah, Polish cars, Polish fucking sugarcane, Polish bananas, everything Polish.
Excellent. That's really helping with this topic. So let's segue back to because we had switched the verbiage of our campaign last second, a decision I had made personally to make it more digestible. I read an article entitled "Mistakes People Make on Kickstarter." One of those, of course, is reading articles about Kickstarter and thinking that means it's so. The night prior, and it had listed Echo. Trek. Echo. Oh, it's gone. Thank you. Not knowing the Kickstarter community as one of them, it described the Kickstarter community as fun and advised using humor, which made me second-guess the direction of ours. I felt the subject matter of the video was a bit heavy. We were talking about children committing suicide, for God's sake. And it was therefore unnecessary to hold the description beneath the video in the same regard. So, really edgy video about people committing suicide, and it's like, "Hi guys, how you doing? Yeah, we're just girls." Plus, we had strategized and had suspected we could raise the amount, $75,000, amongst our large circle of friends and family. Our focus was to extend our reach through them, and hit our goal through the networks that they existed in. We were extremely organized, and we mapped out a day-by-day blueprint. There is an excerpt from the email I circulated to the group of individuals and the potential investors who had been involved in our project from day one. Tomorrow is the day, and in many ways the most important one. We will be launching the project. Launching, that's how she's written it. Hello, Ethan. The project at 9 a.m. Where are you? Not me. Who's the dog? Where's the dog? Anyway, remember, we are focusing on friends and family and social media tomorrow. First step, wake up tomorrow and donate whatever you can. We want to become a project we love on Kickstarter, so if we can get as many people to donate tomorrow, we will trigger their system algorithms. Seeing the project that is getting a lot of attention and quickly all over the map. Second, reach out to friends and family and personally and ask them to donate as well. Remember to keep it personal. No blast emails, because people usually do not feel responsible to do something when you ask them in a group setting. I believe in psychology. That's referring to as the bystander effect. Let's avoid it at all costs. By all accounts, that evening our plan had worked. My co-worker called me at around 7:30 to inform me that we had been contacted via the 180-degree Twitter handle. She said Well done, baby. She said someone was asking how she could reach out to us to discuss the project. Hi, what's a good email? There's that terrible face. I shouldn't have investigated. I should have investigated further, but I didn't. I considered this Twitter request to be no different than any of the individuals that were reaching out to us via Kickstarter directly, asking us to clarify certain aspects of our campaign. Someone wanted to know more about our company. No problem. Give her my direct email, I replied. When Zoe Quinn emailed me at 8:33, she began... Wow, you're articulate with that. She began with her credentials. She described herself as the co-founder of Crash Override Network, one of the only online abuse helplines and victims advocacy groups. And I'm also
named after a shitty movie called Hackers.
Yes, and it also spells out con.
Speaking of her,
just remember this one thing. It's taken this lady this long to get from I started a Kickstarter, it was going well with my company, and then I got contacted by Zoe Quinn. This lady took creative writing classes, literally, and it didn't end with I needed a wash. It went with I went to the other ass cheek and I found a blackhead. I popped it. I really need a wash.
Speaking of credentials, I wonder how's Rebel Jam doing? Does it have at least a set date yet?
Oh, that.
Yeah, oh, that.
I don't think she's doing much Rebel Jamming anymore. She's got a new gig now.
But the site is sure as hell still up, with an active PayPal donation, of course.
Spoiling the surprise. I'm also Patient Zero of Gamergate, which I assume you're familiar with, given your line of work. Bad assumption. I had never heard her name in my entire life. I hadn't the slightest inclination as to who or what Gamergate was. Call me old-fashioned, but I live outside the virtual world and have had had to make a living outside of my television set.
Wait, it doesn't go to the TV. It goes like, oh my god, I love that.
Yeah.
See, that backs up what I said in the chat a few minutes ago about how I think these people are just they're just business people looking for an opportunity. They've got a product, they think they've got a market, so they try to sell it. They're not necessarily in it for any agenda.
Well, she describes herself as a conscious capitalist.
Oh, well, I think that's probably just PR.
Yada yada yada, making money, doing good, yada 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 yada. My idea was big and little at the same time. Little on the ideas, big on the implications. I wanted to put an end to the era of internet thugging. Yeah, you, 25 years of age, barely out of the womb, and there's people that have been doing this for like, what, 30 odd years that the internet's been around for, and they haven't managed it, but you alone.
Does she have an MBA or something like that? Anything that would imply having gone to university?
What does it matter?
Well, it would It's like, where did she get her ideas about what the internet is like?
To be honest with you, her having a master's degree would just, it would actually just make it worse, to be frank.
Yeah. I just think, like, has she been to university?
I think she went to business school.
Just if you go down, you can summarize it right up to the point where you get to Zoe's actual words. Basically, she has to go on Wikipedia to look up what Gamergate is. And then she gets, I just didn't even read much further past a couple of sentences. I gathered she was, a part of, Zoe was just severely cyberbullied over having a really bad boyfriend, and she left it at that. And then, it's like, I didn't think I had to go to dig deeper than the first couple of sentences of the Wikipedia, really. I gathered she was a victim of severe cyberbullying due to a crappy boyfriend and a national press. I immediately looked upon her sympathetically. And this is after stating that she was a bit embarrassed that she was not aware of this nationwide scandal that somehow she missed because she doesn't spend all of her life on the internet with the rest of the plebs. Is basically what she's saying. And then you get down to the actual letter, where she goes... I think it was a facetious slight at Zoe here to basically kind of go, I haven't heard of you. Yeah,
I think that's probably about it. She's probably...
I'm not an internet nerd. I don't know about these things you talk about. Why should I know about this? Like, oh my god. Maybe if you understood exactly how the internet worked and the way harassers do work and the way that people are getting called harassers for simply standing up for themselves, you would fucking understand.
So I'll just paraphrase some of the sentences. Is that she was like, whoa, I was like, whoa, and she was like, huh, and I was like, no, and then she basically got in tears and fucked off.
Actually, there's something very telling about her making a point of her...
description.
Well, making a point of her ignorance of Zoe Quinn. It's like she's making a point of the fact that having someone mentioning, you've probably heard of me, given you think, blah, blah, and instead of her going, oh, well, no, I hadn't heard any of it, she's basically trying to make a virtue out of the fact that she doesn't know how to do a Google search.
Well, here's where it gets interesting. If you go down past the whoa part, it goes... they were concerned that minors would be doxxed. Interestingly, this is the first time we had heard the term in our campaign, doxxed. I'm referring to the Kickstarter campaign that we are currently 12 hours into, blah, 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 blah. Nothing, they've never seen the word dox. You go back down and goes, no, not ever once in 6 weeks of our initial feedback from many communities and organizations had we heard the word dox. Okay, that's because wow. So she then goes on to answer Zoe's questions, stand by her thing stating minors don't have, to clarify, I built this database with minors in mind. Dog, stop it. Sorry, hold on. Fucking stop. To clarify, we built with the database with minors in mind. They are the ones I care about most deeply, as any person knows. Me will confirm. I did not come from a rich family. That kind of has anything to do with it. I had to take out loans to go to college. Who cares? And blah, blah, blah. So 4 years of college, I made a career working with children. Okay, so we don't care about that.
Well,
so yes, I love children. I still
studied finances, but she's a nanny.
Yeah. And so he keeps going down, and so she keeps... I suspect
what she's doing is once again rubbing this in Zoe's face. I don't think Zoe had to do it.
She's trying to state, of course I know all about children. I know all this. I've made this understanding the effect it might have on children. So to Zoe, I explained that the questions of minors was a non-issue. Zoe pivoted her argument and told me that there was concern that the bullies would wind up being harassed by the self-proclaimed vigilante. And she keeps going on, basically arguing back and forth with her over each contention point that everybody has with Zoe, and Zoe's actually bringing up valid points, which is scary. Zoe apparently did learn. But it goes on and on and on with Zoe disagreed with me, I stood up for this. What about, she switched her tactic once again, telling me that I did not know what I was messing with me. She warned me that Gamergate, the community, would come after me and that they would be ruthless. She warned me that they would try to end my Kickstarter campaign, put me through cyber hell, and that wasn't an experience I wanted to live through. And literally, she is saying that Zoe Quinn sicked Gamergate on her as you scroll down. It's very important to note that Zoe Quinn told me that Gamergate would try to end my Kickstarter campaign. I'm not shitting you. She thinks that Zoe Quinn is this. And as with that, the end of the 43-minute of erratic conversation, she hung up the phone with me. And she goes, by the end it'll be too late. It'll ruin everything. Blah, blah, blah. I imagine she collapsed onto the floor of her bedroom in hysterics and picked her zit. I mean, seriously, go on, you know. And so something had to be done. I called a close friend. Nobody gave a shit. Instead, I waited to send a follow-up email so I could reshift my focus. The email, da-da-da-da-da-da. And now, a mere 45 minutes after I had sent out that email to Zoe, it began a message from John Joe via Kickstarter Pain. Nigger, 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 nigger. I love it. It immediately happened. So, and then, just so you guys know, Zoe Quinn denied sending out the email. What Zoe Quinn did is that she sent the email to the rest of her friends, and people started to tweet it out, going, this with a link to her Kickstarter. Of course, people in Gamergate who watch Zoe Quinn, this is the reality of it, watch Zoe Quinn's every fart, picked up on it, did their own research, and then started to write to the company. Now, of course, she's cherry-picking the trolls, which that's what they do. And I can ruin your life, no one likes you, loser, started coming through. So she is... Zoe denies sending out the email. But Zoe ended up getting caught sending out the email. She did do it. The fun part is that Zoe did not send it out to quote-unquote Gamergate. She sent it out to the open public. And her email address is fucking available on the 180 Degrees website. There is actually an email in here that matches her email address. And there are ways to contact her.
Yes, but it's not the same email.
Okay, it's not the same email.
Do your research.
I thought it was. Well, okay. Well, but you know what? That's all Zoe did was go, here's the email address of these people. And she thinks it's Gamergate, that she sent it to Gamergate. And she just does not understand how the internet works at all. So it's like, no, if Zoe fucking farts, it's going to get out on the internet. And we found, you know, they found something really horrible. So, of course, people wrote. And you immediately attracted the trolls. An interesting account name because there was a word that we had before, dox. And we began seeing it over and over and over again rapidly.
Wait, so she still hasn't Googled Zoe Quinn, presumably.
Probably she Googled her and then she didn't get the rest of it. She checked one Wikipedia page and apparently became a professional. So the rest of this whole thing goes down where she starts documenting the harassment, stating that it's all Zoe Quinn and her harassers. And then it literally keeps going on and on and on. And since Zoe had alerted me to both the Reddit, presumably, and 4chan feeds, I was now given a front row seat to the plan that was being devised to take us down. They had all announced that they were, again, doxing minors, and if they all had email Kickstarter so that they could have our campaign taken down. And they did so successfully. And I was labeled a feminazi, blah, 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 the smoking gun. I have no idea who Randy Lee Harper is. I saw she was in my Twitter mentions. I did not think it to take the extra time why a group of trolls kept wanting me to shove her down my throat in a positive light. Double confession, I have no interest in discovering who Randy Lee Harper is and have no intention of looking up or speaking with her ever. My boyfriend caught wind of a past from the Ralph retort that labeled quote-unquote fair, which was a breath of fresh air from the vermin-like journalistic. Wait a minute. The route. Never mind. I won't go down that. I'm gonna shut up. Fuck.
I'm just gonna let this sit there. Ralph, breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Take one, Ralph.
Yeah, Jesus. So, I just gotta shut up on that one. God. So, she refuses to look and so Randy Harper and Zoe Quinn had discussed my project with one another regarding that. There is no question. And honestly, she does not understand that we are the hive mind of the internet. Yes, Randy Lee Harper, the whale, and Zoe Quinn, the slut, have learned how to think like the rest of us. They understand how the internet is going to work for the most part. It's not hard. So she's thinking that every single person that is using the same phrases, you are going to dox children. Are Gamergate. Or not, are Gamergate, and that they are Randy Lee Harper and Zoe Quinn.
I'm pretty certain that they always knew. I mean, wasn't Zoe like a confirmed former, or you can still call it goon?
Still a former current what?
Goon. You know, like the beatards are from 4chan, the goons are from something awful.
Well, there is always that rumor running around that she's actually doing this entire thing for SJW victim bucks, and they're basically playing everybody, you know.
So she documents all of this shit. I'll make a shorter video about all of this later that puts it into small sentences, not a 4-hour read, because I'm still scrolling as I'm talking.
It's amazing of how much legs this has. This is why I want to get this done just in one stream, out the way. We don't have to talk about this bullshit again.
Yeah, when I popped on earlier and saw the stream had started, and I was like, oh yeah, hi guys, sorry I have to go to the shop, before in the chat, I don't know if you saw that, I was expecting to come back and have to go, so what was the conclusion to that, and what are we talking about now? But
you didn't know it was this big?
It's just the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's to easily sum up the rest. To sum up the rest of this, she is thinking that Zoe Quinn, Randy Lee Harper are Gamergate and that they flooded everything. Zoe Quinn then goes to state, I did not leak the email address. Then it turns out that Zoe Quinn did leak the email address, but if people like 4chan, Gamergate, and the regular average Joe got a hold of it, and all three and then the then the feminists and the regressive left got a hold of it, and everybody hated it equally. Everybody hated it equally, and started writing in and started breaking into the site. I know, because I figured out how to do it too. They had fixed the original way to search the site. Okay, this was a couple of days before it got taken down. And this is my like, I've told a little bit about this in a video I did, but then my husband went onto the site and was like, yeah, that way is shut down, but look, let's try this. He showed me how to break into it again.
Hi, Alejandro. How you doing, mate? ¿Cómo está? So where have we got here with this debacle exactly? So far, it's just basically.
I can show you how to get into the site and see who's on it without actually searching inside of it.
It's whiners basically having a go at whiners, and so now I've obviously reached out to Social Autopsy, and I'm hoping to unfollow by the end of this week, because my God, this girl can tweet. It's like she's fresh in. I mean, let's have a look. She basically got on the internet, it seemed, not long ago. And I mean, and already tries to take it over. Landed a footprint of nearly 1,000 tweets already. I think she's probably been going for like a week. It's like, okay, but at least she's providing photos of food. God damn it.
I think you have to Google socialautopsy.com/person or profile.
No, but that's not the
And
real
you,
database. It's
that yeah,
person.
yes, it's the test database where they're holding believe it or not, everybody's like, oh, it's just a test database, but that's where they're holding all their pictures, and that is where they are a lot of the information that they're going to be transporting it. That's the database to show who is on it. And so you can actually find out if you're on it by searching on it through that way, without having to go onto the site, which keeps getting DDoSed. Huh?
I think the stream sputtered for a moment there.
It's okay.
Yeah, and that's all real people. At least the original 114. Some people actually, just for the fun of it, decided to dox as many as they could from that list. So when they say that, when she said that it couldn't hurt people, yeah, that proved the contrary.
Yeah, it did. And I went on there, but I made sure to, when I was showing people how easy it could be infiltrated and how this person basically did not know how to even code a test list, but I did not show any names. I covered it all up. I made sure, like, I'm not releasing anybody's information, so I'm not stupid or an asshole like that. But, by the way, FenFlow, I wanted to congratulate you not only on your interviewing skills, but also your research skills into this. Half of the information I have gotten from you by listening to the Honey Badgers podcast.
Thank you. And yeah, and I made a 3-hour stream last week where, well, I showed all the research that I did, where I found that information.
Yeah, I watched a lot of that too, and I followed the trails as well. I'm going to be doing a conclusionary piece later on if you want to be a part of that, or butt heads later on.
Sure. What do you mean by later on, actually?
Probably by midweek. I'm going to see if anything else happens.
Yeah, definitely. Just contact me on Twitter, and it will be my pleasure to be there.
Yeah, and if you're ever hang out in this rat hole, I'm always here as much as possible.
Good.
So
yeah, no, it sounds good. Actually, good thing that I have the floor because I need to leave. I have a stream beginning in 30 minutes. I need to make sure all my people are ready.
Okay, mate. Could you just give me sort of like your final word on this, because I feel that you've probably actually got a decent grasp of all of this. And,
yeah, my final.
Really, where is this going? If it's going anywhere?
Yeah, what I think is, well, the project itself is a big fail. Even if she's been approached by venture capitalists, it will never ever materialize. But as a person, she sounds like a great person. At least the core of her personality, except that she's clueless about the internet. She decided to start a business venture without doing research, which is irresponsible for somebody who has a background in finances. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
She keeps backpedaling and changing her version. When somebody contradicts something or points out something that is definitely a flaw, she says, no, I never said that. You're a liar. You keep lying. I'm blocking you.
That doesn't show good character to me. That shows me that she needs to grow up to develop a character. Maybe this will help her grow up. Maybe someday she'll invent something that is good for the internet if she keeps learning.
Yeah, maybe.
But a cold shower when she got into the fucking internet. That's for sure.
Maybe she'll get her friend to write a block bot to get rid of Randy Harper and whatnot.
That's a big block bot.
Yeah, but even if she just had Googled herself, she would have known. She would have seen all the threads, like what I mentioned earlier, all the trolls that posed as Zoe Quinn and other people that sent her threatening emails. They were bragging about it, that it wasn't Zoe Quinn that they did it, and it got put on Zoe Quinn's back.
Have you got a link to that by any chance, mate, so we can have a little read?
It's on Kiwi Farms. It just got moved recently. They moved it to the lolcows area instead of its own thread. So
by the way, can you send me a message? I cannot create a login for Kiwi Farms because I cannot guess the verification of what is this with the weeb guy fucking the pillow. I can't figure out what the answer is.
Yeah, let me just Google that and I put a link. Well, you just need to Google Kiwi Farms, Candace Owens.
Okay.
That's about it. So you can, and there, funnily enough, you can find her address, her personal email address at yahoo.com. There's so much information out there. And but even them, they say now that that is not interesting anymore. That's why they moved it to the lol cows. They're just hoping that it will die out, and they're tired of it. They got the fun they wanted, and that's it. They're done.
Yeah, let me go to Locals, Kiwi Farms, see if there's anything interesting to read, see if anybody has some final thoughts on it.
Okay, I'm kind of a late arrival, and I'm ever since like 2014, I'm the guy in the back just sitting there and being like, what? What's going on? So what exactly
is
happened
going on?
Yeah, because I kind of walked in.
Do you want the long story short? Do you want the short story long?
TLDR, this bitch, because
I can do it really quick. I can do it super quick.
As it is.
Super quick is Fem. Have a good day. I love talking.
Thank you. Yes,
Thanks
great.
for coming, mate. It's been wonderful. You should come back.
Yes. Oh yeah, definitely. Just invite me. I just saw the random invite on the Skype group, and I said, why not?
Sure
As
thing,
if I hadn't talked about social autopsy enough already.
Indeed, you poor man.
Yeah. And just to do a shameless or shameful self-plug.
Oh, yeah, shill away. Shill. Yes, throw yourself out there. Don't be afraid. What's your Twitter handle so I can post it on the guest list?
@feministperiod.
Have I got that down? Yeah, I've already got it down. It's fine.
Yeah,
so don't forget to follow.
I'm about to go do a stream on my channel, not to draw people away from this, just mentioning it. Maybe
Don't you dare.
Yes.
This is the most we've had in here for a while. Don't take away our golden nuggets.
No, what's your channel there, mate? It's obviously Feminist. Is it the same as the @
Feminist Flow.
Feminist Flow, that was, folks.
Yeah, Feminist Flow on YouTube. My alternate channel is Feminist Period, where I just record things and remove them right away. And Monday I'm going to be releasing an interview that I did already with Woolly Bumblebee about the whole petition thing. And also Monday I interview Sargon. So I'll release both at the same time. I just mentioned that in an article I wrote for the Ralph Retort. I know you all love Ralph.
Oh yeah, he's the epitome of journalism today.
I'm gonna tell you one nice thing about Ralph.
The pit of journalism. That was it.
As a person, Ralph has never done me any harm, and as a person, I can have a decent conversation with him. Other than that, I avoid reading his site so I don't get mad at him and start hating him.
Regardless of nothing against the guy personally, but he makes BuzzFeed look professional.
Yeah, but he said himself, look, I'm a muckraker for a tabloid. So he's never pretended to be a journalist or a reporter, and that's one of the first thing he told me when I was saying things like, I feel all reportery now. He said, no, you're writing for a tabloid.
Yep.
So, at least
he's honest that way. That's why I don't hate Ralph. I just, some of it.
But then again, so was Gorka.
Yeah, so was Gorka.
Yeah. All right, so I've got to run out. Nice being here with all of you, and let's keep in touch. I'm on Twitter.
Take it easy,
That's
mate.
the best way to reach me.
We'll see
Take
you
it
soon.
easy.
Bye, Fem.
Bye.
Feminist Flow's a cool person. They created the account to be originally a mock against feminism, and it's turned into this beautiful system that he's got going on of really actually doing a lot of research and making it fun, interviewing people of all shapes, sizes, and sides of any ideology. Doing a really good job of staying very neutral during the actual interviews, going, this is not a shit fest. This is me doing an interview. So it's kind of interesting to be able to let everybody get their point across without 4chan coming in.
That's right. For the shitfest, come to the open house.
Yeah, that's what we... So, I'm going through Kiwi Farms to get any final
Please
notations
click our
on
Amazon
this.
affiliate links. Anyway.
Yeah. A link if you want. I've got it set to the last page of the Kiwi Farms articles in the locale areas under Candace Owens, and pretty much everybody at this point sort of like, and it looks like, is it done yet? Is it done yet? And everybody's like, it looks like it's done. They have tried to dox her, and Candace is like saying, I don't care if you dox me, basically. I've got nothing to hide. They've gone back to 2008. Who cares? And basically they're trying to find shit on her. They can't really find shit on her other than pictures of her with her cat. I mean, there really isn't anything that they could find on this lady. She is just literally an ignorant person, and the way that I look at it is that she was somebody that had a good intention after getting really butthurt on the internet and she got $35 in restitution is what happened with an old case of her getting harassed. She decides that she's going to do something about that big bad internet without having any real knowledge or past experiences or any basic street smarts of how things operate, how easily things can be hacked, that 10% of the people to 25% of the people on the internet are just assholes that push buttons. She has no idea that this is something that is a force you cannot stop. And when people try to warn her about it or try to get in on a racket, she screams Gamergate. Zoe Quinn has no clue. She is like an infant playing on the interwebs for the very first time and getting her ass handed to her. Maybe someday she will invent something that actually works, but today is not the day.
I mean, let's have a small advice round for let's say for Candice and Zoe. Zoe, first off, if you are trying to help somebody, probably the best thing to not say to them at the start of their campaign is to go stop your campaign. If your intention, if on the face of it it is to be believed, was to help someone. Because it didn't really come across as you were being very helpful, as in, you know that thing that you've set your heart on and then you're looking to get 75 grand for? Don't do that. And you were expecting that to be done on a fucking phone call. This is on the face of it. Now, we know what you're like. We know what you do. We've seen what you've done before when you see somebody encroaching on your turf.
It's not like she would to go and try to shut down a fundraiser or something for her personal gain. That would be so ludicrous.
You're breaking up a little bit there, Simon.
That's hardly weird activity for you now, is it? You need to step up your game because it's becoming a little samey. Now, Candice, on the face of it, let's say, maybe you've got some decent intentions. You have misstepped somewhat in your intentions. And you're making me agree with Zoe Quinn. That makes me angry. Okay? Now, I don't believe Zoe Quinn is saying most of what she's saying for the best possible intentions, to be honest with you. But people can often use the truth just the same as they can use a lie to get what they want done. I would suggest, as you can see, you've already been petitioned against, not just by the likes of Zoe Quinn, who would just like you out of the way because, of course, then she can get all those victim bucks all for herself. But if you've got a bunch of people that are basically, labelled as harassers, saying you really shouldn't do this because this will create more harassment, you might want to rethink your strategy.
And then people that are like Nicholas, I can't pronounce. What's somebody say Nicholas's last name, please? Garoff, who has never been a harasser, just a internet personality with a lot of information that he wishes to spare. But
Dude, no. He's
physically
posted
got.
on the hashtag that makes him harassing. Don't you
Oh, that's
understand the
right.
logic?
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot the single use of the hashtag makes you the
It's
hacker
2016,
known as 4chan.
remember?
Yeah. Okay. That means we are the hacker known as 4chan.
That's right.
And I'm sorry.
Not only hackers
So
known
yes,
as
a self-proclaimed
hackers
Gamergate has made a petition to stop you, and it was listened to, and it is still being signed.
So Candice, if you are listening, and I'm sure you are, you have misstepped, and this is if obviously everything you're saying is to be believed. Maybe want to take a little step back, take a breath, grab a glass of water. I don't know. Stroke your cat, and maybe think of a different venture, because this one isn't going to work out well for you. It's certainly not going to work out well for the internet, and it will eat you alive if you continue. And you will be beset and besieged by trouble, even if you manage to get this off the ground. You will have, by the looks of it, there will be black hats trying to take this down as it is, and probably some fucking white hats as well.
Yeah. I have some general advice for anybody trying to create anything on the internet. Either it be given a fucking Facebook profile, it will get hacked. It will get leaked. Your bank account someday will get hacked into. That dirty picture you did not want your mother to see will get shown to your mother. There is nothing that you can do about the entities that are on the internet that do this for the lulz, the lol cows, and the salt. There's no way to stop this from happening. And if you find a way to stop them from that happening, you will literally shut down the entire functioning internet.
Unfortunately, you can't police the internet.
Say that again, Ethan.
Unfortunately, you can't police the internet, and it'll work out. That's essentially what this whole thing is about. You try to police the internet, then it comes back on you. You know?
Yes, the actual internet police arrive.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? I mean, I sort of pity her in a lot of ways, because you can imagine having a bad time when you start out as a kid and stuff like that, and you want to solve it for everybody else, and you think, well, if I just stop the bad thing, it'll all go away. But generally speaking, if you're trying to stop the bad thing, sometimes you end up having to be the bad thing. So are we done?
Yeah, I think we're done.
Are we over? Can we draw a line under this? I've done 4 hours of this bullshit. Okay.
I'm good.
Are we good? Are we done?
I've been done like 2 hours ago.
Can we now draw a line under this and say, right, let's not talk about this, because this is just so asinine. My ass hurts.
What else should we talk about then, Daddy?
I don't care. Really.
Wait, somebody said something about Simon. Simon said something horrible about white supremacy.
What?
That's your line, Simon.
About?
You came in here wanting to talk about something that was actually important. We were talking about internet drivel.
Well, he was talking about Polish drama.
Polish drama.
Yeah, Poland. The white supremacist nationalists are on the rise in popularity in the country.
Okay, you can fill in some blanks
because
there.
Europe is clamping down and trying to force us to open borders for the Syrian refugees. And wouldn't you know it, people are kind of opposed to the idea of other countries telling their governments what they are supposed to do. Funny how that works.
How about that?
Who would have thought after Poland empties its country of all of its go-getters and multiculturally thinking people, all you'd be left as a bunch of nationalists who can't fucking stand the place. Thanks for all of those, by the way. They're very useful.
They stand it well enough. It's just that they don't want more refugees to come into the country.
Yes, because that's what Poland doesn't need is people.
Honestly, with this unemployment rate, not really.
At this point, I cannot see any cure to the refugee crises on any borders. I've sat and I have milled it over. I have tried to form an opinion, and all I can say is, you guys are fucked.
Don't say that.
Yeah, I'd be careful about
Eventually they'll fill up
Americans
you up
talking
and come
about
over
Europeans
here.
being fucked.
Unfortunately, it's primarily us that are getting fucked. Everybody else was smart enough to close their borders.
Yes, they've managed to localize that problem just to Germany.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh god, that German propaganda thing that I saw. Who
But
posted
to be
it?
fair, there
Oh,
probably wouldn't
Hagbard
be as
did.
much
Hagbard
demand
did.
if Germany
Am I the only
hadn't
one
got this. Let's treat all of the people trying to get in as if they're Syrian refugees, even though they're not. Thing.
No, you missed it. See, what we're actually doing now, after it was found out that only basically 1 in 4 Syrian refugee is actually a Syrian refugee, and Merkel didn't, want to deal with that, we are now basically giving those fake refugees to Turkey and paying for them to give us real Syrian refugees back.
Wait,
Well,
what? I didn't hear about this. That's...
Hold on. I get why you're sending them back to Turkey. That's great. But why are you paying for more refugees?
No, see. Well, because otherwise Merkel wouldn't have to deal with...
I don't understand the paying thing.
No, I can explain it to you. Because Turkey wouldn't take our fake refugees without us paying for them.
Well, who cares? Just send them anywhere. Just send them back to their country. Where do they come from? Just throw them into the sea for all I care.
Shut the ass off.
How do you really feel, Habib?
Shut
I mean,
the
don't
ass
hold
off.
back.
Back.
I'm feeling all of this humanitarian vibe here. Oh, you're not a refugee?
Now, why do you think, right, Merkel actually okayed Erdogan suing a German comedian for telling a joke about him?
Because freedom of speech.
So anyway, I'm just thinking about what time are we at this point? I was just thinking, Shrek. Would you like to tell us about your Gamergate exploits?
Well, all I've really been doing is I
tell the world. Now's
Look,
your chance.
all I've been doing is I've been what I call ethics posting. I've been posting a whole series of journalistic breaches of ethics, lack of disclosure, downright bribery, clear examples of bias, and so forth. It got tiring of me to see the hashtag and be it mostly, infighting between the different boards, insults, and the usual, the SJWs are gonna, rape your daughter kind of shit. So,
which they don't do, by the way.
Yeah.
Not unless I'm really desperate.
They're more into pegging, but anyways.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
The point that I'm making is I've been trying to, highlight certain issues in regards to journalism that I've found personally worthwhile to mention. Now, I sourced a lot of this from imediaethics.org. Really nice site, well done. Has wonderful categories from everything from checkbook journalism, bias, lack of disclosure. You can really, it's all really nicely tagged. They do some really interesting investigative work, and I can recommend everybody to have a look. And I would like to encourage all of you, if you find stuff that you think, is relevant, post it on the hashtag along with me. Let's have some fun together.
So
are you taking Gamergate back?
What was your favourite story out of all of these? What's been the real doozy?
Oh. Well, lately, actually, my favorite story was not from there. My favorite story came actually from Surprise KIA, which was, it turns out that IGN Adria was actually recently licensed, or is basically being operated by a game publisher.
IGN Atria.
Adria, that's, I believe, Italy, like that area around. If I'm not entirely mistaken, I might be wrong.
But that's owned by a game company. What could go wrong there?
Yeah, I mean, it is to the point that even some of the...
This is in Italy, mind, so this is part of the course.
Well, keep in mind, this is so much of an obvious thing that even people who hate Gamergate with a passion have to agree, well, shit, yeah, that's pretty bad.
But down with harassment. Yes, down with harassment. Is this bad? Yes, but you're harassers, so I can't agree with you.
Hold on. I actually gotta give them credit, right? They actually try to help spread the news and share this because, they said, well, you know what? This is actual ethics. I can get along with that one. So I don't want to, knock on these guys, at least the ones that I spoke to, too much because, you know what? They came through on this one.
Well, I'd like to thank Social Autopsy for liking my tweet about us talking about them. And yeah, if you're in, hi. Just say hi in the text. We can see you. As you can imagine, you might want to track back. We've just been basically going through your we're basically just looking over the body as such. Obviously, sucks to be you. As I said, maybe have a look at the bit where we were talking about advice as to go forward. It's not really. It may not feel good, but I would suggest maybe a different Kickstarter campaign. Maybe sell some toys or something. But the whole naming and shaming online harassers thing, not going to work out well.
Not until you at least have been on the internet and functioning on it for at least a good, give yourself, I'll be nice. I'll say that you're a reasonably intelligent person. I'll give you, you'd go into it for a solid year.
Yeah, see you after 25,000 tweets, let's say.
Yeah, you just work on it and stay off of Facebook. Don't touch Facebook because that's garbage when it comes to what really goes on.
Facebook is garbage.
Well, I'm talking about people that the average Joe uses Facebook. The media people out there that she is concerned with are the Twitter users, the Tumblrites, the 4chaners, the 8chaners, the locals, the Kiwi farms. You need to get yourself really immersed in the languages so you understand simple basic things as the word docs is not something that only Randy Harper and Zoe Quinn use. They were one of the original people around when the word docs was being created, yes, because they had a tendency to dox people.
Yeah, and here's the thing you might want to work out as well. When mortal enemies are willing to basically go against you, you have to worry. Games journalism found that one out. It wasn't pretty. So if I'm having to agree with Randy Harper, I really don't like you. It's not a nice feeling.
You make him lunch.
Yeah, I actually am sick to my stomach. I need to purge after this stream. So that might be the lack of sleep, but I think it's more down to this particular thing. May I advise you to maybe, if you wish to start up a Kickstarter, do yourself a favour and set up some sort of charitable organisation where you maybe go to schools and you approach minors and you educate them about how to avoid people bullying them. For example,
but people have to educate themselves.
Blocking, using blocking, other stuff like that. Yeah, and understand that this sort of thing can be actually culled by ignorance, in the sense that sometimes there's a lot of people out there that you just have to ignore. and to also teach children something called mental fortitude, which is, others would say, growing a thicker skin. Because if you leave children in a state where they do not actually end up having any sort of thing brushing up against them for fear of their little fifis getting hurt, then they turn into social justice warriors and ruin fucking everything later on.
Now just look what's happened to all of our art, our comics, our movies, our TV, our books. God.
So I know it's a long-winded plan and it will be slow, and you may not see it within your own lifetime actually doing anything, but you will have planted some decent seeds that will grow into some decent trees. And I think that's my final word on the off chance on that one. Anyone else for some advice?
Yeah, go on the internet and stay on it until you understand how it works. Learn what parts of it that you love. Learn what parts of it that you hate. Learn. And before you literally think before you open your mouth is a very, very important thing. Learn before you look before you leap. You leaped and you fell. And you fell exactly the way that everybody said that you were going to fall. And then when it happens, you go, "Why did I fall? You guys made me fall." No, we told you were going to fall because there was a stick in the road. And then you just did not even look at the stick. You're like, "You put the stick there." No, it was already there.
Yes, you've got to remember that you can blame Zoe Quinn and Randy Harper for a lot of this. You can if you wish. However, you do look a little foolish when you blame them for, say, what people like myself have done. For example, like signed a petition. I didn't sign a petition that Zoe Quinn started. I signed a petition that Nick Garoff started, because I agree with his sentiments, not Zoe's. And my reasonings are my reasonings, and they are certainly not Zoe's reasonings. But as I say, you've got to remember that not everybody is working in cahoots.
No, I have never talked to Zoe Quinn or Andy Harper in my entire life. I have never tweeted to them.
Yeah.
I probably blocked by them due to some sort of block bot, due to my ideological disagreements with them. But I have no contact with them whatsoever. I do not even go look on their Twitter for juicy bits of article crap to write about, because I am not fucking absorbed into, what's the next bit of hit piece shit. I am more concerned with freedom of speech. If I see something violating freedom of speech or the human rights of being able to say and speak and act and live on the internet, I will stand up and shout, "Hey!" And that is my job. I point out bullshit. And I found your shit, and I pointed out the bullshit.
Sorry. And as we say, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And, on the face of it, I think perhaps you did have good intentions. But the motivation is not the problem. And as you've said in earlier passages about the fact that the founding fathers, for example, maybe slave owners, being douchebags does not necessarily mean that everything that they said was a bad thing. And you being a nice person does not necessarily negate the fact that what you were doing could be bloody awful. Sorry. But that is just the way things are. I'm a nice guy, but I can be a douche. I can be in a bad mood and do something nice. It's a wacky old world out there.
I've seen you in a bad mood, and I've left you alone for 30 minutes, came back in, and you were all better.
Yes, Randy, just get it over with, please. Anyway, that's enough from us. I am actually really, really tired, and I'm going to go to bed.
Can I
shill away,
quick?
Baby, shill away.
Hi, Liz Reptile, 2 Z's, LIZZREPTILE. Find me on Twitter with 3 Z's. And I do stuff on the internet where I point out bullshit. I am not very hit PC, but I do find bullshit. And I do some funny shit with the bullshit. Enjoy.
And if you would like to actually look into the wonderful world of corrupt journalism, Shrek Bane has fashioned you all with multitudes of stuff to dig around in, folks. And I think it might be wise for us all to actually start thinking about this instead of basically concentrating on bullshit drama between internet celebrities. What do you say?
It's actually a fascinating field. Unsurprisingly, one of your country's publication is a recurring star in this circus.
Is it called The Star?
No, The Sun.
Oh, The Sun. Yes, of course.
Oh,
God. Yes. The thing is, when somebody wants to take The Sun to court, and they kind of go, "These people are lying," and it's like, when? You've got to be a bit more specific.
Well, what I find interesting, they seem to have the highest bribes in the industry.
Yes, this is a Rupert Murdoch publication, so everything goes, of course, above board.
Yeah, I think when Tony Blair was in power, it was like a weekly meeting, like just a regular thing, wasn't it?
With Tony. Yes, Atherin, have you got anything to plug, pimp, or shill?
Dark Souls 3, which is why I've been very quiet for the last few minutes.
Fair enough. Focus break. Habib, you're going to be doing an interview with Derek Smart this tomorrow, isn't it? For Sunday?
Yeah, tomorrow. It's going to be 6 p.m. No, not 6 p.m. It's going to be 10 a.m. EST, and we're going to be talking about crowdfunding in general, ways to fix it. I'm going to be focusing on adding credibility either from the owner of the Kickstarter or the Kickstarter website themselves, or maybe even a third party. And I'm going to have an interesting panel of guests. Troy is going to be there. James is going to be there. Red Star.
I'll do my best to manage it if I can, mate.
And I'll try to drag you in there as well.
I'll try my best.
If you want me, I'm here.
Simon,
Sure.
do you have any particular recipes you'd like to share?
This time of year?
Yes. What would be favourable? And
Oh,
I'm sorry, Searle, but I've been awake pretty much. I was doing that stream with Kraut, and then I ended up basically in a conversation with Undoomed for like hour upon hour upon hour. So I am wired right now. I am basically hitting the hay.
Done.
I can't do any more. I'm probably going to sleep for the next 12 hours and get an early morning.
I miss that whole Kraut thing. He does his shit too early in the goddamn morning for me. I gotta get on there sooner or later.
It's good fun.
He's invited me, and I keep fucking missing it. And it's like, fuck.
So, it's been really nice, guys. Thank you for getting this fucking thing out of the way. Can we basically stop concentrating on celebrity gossip and perhaps maybe actually look at what the real problem is, which is some fucking awful journalism. Like I said, have a look at Shrekbane. He is sharing like you wouldn't believe. So there's plenty to sink your teeth into. And you could probably make an entire YouTube series just out of what he's tweeting right now. So have at it, Hoss. And once again, thank you very much for coming, guys. Thank you in the bottom chat. Searle, I love you. Take it easy, alright? Nighty night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.